Huh? What?
We're live.
Wow. I can cough more if you want.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. It's part of the vibe. Alright, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
No, I don't want Duolingo Premium! I don't want it! No! It's funny that I'm getting a fucking pop-up saying subscribe to earn like 3 months of free Duolingo while we're doing fucking SCP readings.
Yeah, so we can learn how to fucking read.
I think my webcam and like yeah, I think this is like perfect. I like
Looks fine, yeah.
I
Is
rescaled
that fish?
fish.
Okay, cool. You actually have fish up this time.
Yeah, I've
Wow,
also
never
got
thought I'd see
stream
that.
scaled really well right now. This looks great.
Wow.
Usually I just pop it up and then I'm like, oh yeah, well I can see it, so like, I don't know. You should add Wii Fit on Steam so they can see when you launch Lurkbait.
Christ.
It is funny that anyone is on my friends list can see me launch Lurkbait and they know I'm about to stream. Alright, do you want to take the first one, Mort, or shall I?
Go ahead.
Alright. Oh. I need to switch the monitors. These are on, actually. There we go. We're good. Okay. Item number SCP-97. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. SCP-97 is contained within the limits of the property where it was initially discovered. Zone SCP-97. The property is surrounded by an 8-meter tall concrete block fence fitted with barbed wire and security camera systems. Satellite images of Zone SCP-97 are to be doctored, removing all traces of the area. Any and all new plant growth outside the containment area suspected to originate from within the SCP is to be sterilized through application of boiling salt water and or incinerated. Absolutely all abnormal behavior is to be reported to Dr. Bridge within 10 minutes of occurrence. If any personnel or their families experience hallucinations or thematically related dreams outside of containment, they are to contact Dr. Bridge to schedule treatment. Is this what I? It is what I think it is. This is so perfect. This is a Halloween related SCP.
Oh my god.
That's awesome. Okay. Localities surrounding SCP-97, specifically redacted, are to be monitored from the 1st of April until the 1st of November every year for affected civilians. Medical establishments dealing with sleep abnormalities are to be monitored for signs of SCP-97's influence. Civilians below the age of 16 encountered alone within 1 square kilometer of Zone 97 are to be taken into Foundation custody and are to be treated with Class B amnestic and returned home, or the nearest police station. Personnel tasked with the return of civilians are to avoid public exposure. Each agent is to be assigned a cover story to follow if they do encounter civilians en route to their destinations. See Level 3 staff for details. The best Halloween SCP is the hash-slinging slasher. I wouldn't be surprised
Yep.
if there's a joke SCP that's just the hash-slinging slasher. The morning after the first frost of every year, a team of 25 agents armed with agricultural tools are to enter SCP-97 and clear away the outer plant matter. This process is not to continue past dusk. Description: SCP-97 is a 10-acre area of land in the state of Redacted in the Midwestern United States. It is the abandoned remains of the Redacted County Fair 1969, an area of approximately 2.3 kilometers squared. Structures within the SCP area exist in a state of moderate disrepair, consistent with the expected age and environment. At the center of SCP-97 lie the remains of a 1956 GMC pickup truck, majority of which is crushed beneath a colossal pumpkin of unknown subtype. Lost where I was reading for a second. Okay, here. Henceforth, SCP-97-1. 97-1 stands approximately 7.4 meters tall and 8.1 meters in diameter at its widest. Current estimates put SCP-97-1 at approximately 15,000 kilograms, approximately 33,000 pounds. This pumpkin remains roughly spherical in shape instead of spreading out under its own weight as would be expected of a plant of its size. The remaining portion of SCP-97 is overgrown with several dozen varieties of pumpkins with over 70 subspecies yet identified, and many previously unknown to agriculture. Many of these pumpkins have been shown capable of growing to enormous sizes, the average estimated weight being around 250 kilos. These pumpkins, along with the assorted other crops, grow with, on, and around the remains of the 1969 fairgrounds, creating a maze-like arrangement of plant life. The average height of the walls within SCP-97 is 1.6 meters, though this may vary from year to year. Between April and November each year, the area within SCP-97 has produced a number of anomalous phenomena ranging from benign to implicitly aggressive. To date, 17 agents have been severely maimed within SCP-97, 8 having died. See event log SCP-97 for a brief list of recorded phenomenon. Oh man, okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
Severely memed, exactly.
Yep.
This is a general incident log for SCP-97 for the cycle between redacted to redacted. This is an abridged version. Please support the official release. Please requisition full individual reports from Dr. Bridge. During this time, 4 civilian children were captured and returned to their families. Cameras 3B, 4A, 4C, 5B view child, approximately 4 years of age, walk between tangles of plant matter toward SCP-97-1 over an 8-minute period. Child appeared to be dragging a stuffed animal. Notes: child appeared on footage during review period. No figure was viewed at the time of recording. Event: human scream heard from within SCP-97, heard throughout the site. On-site personnel described it as possessing a small child's voice, sustained for approximately 3 minutes before stopping abruptly. Note: staff reported feeling as if they were being watched during the event. Event: several bedsheet ghosts are seen throughout various security feeds during the day. Would only appear for approximately 1 to 3 seconds before vanishing again. Staff did not report seeing any anomalous entities firsthand. Notes: patrols doubled for the remaining time in the SCP's cycle. Event: unidentifiable singing is heard throughout the site, persisting for 3 hours before becoming silent. Recordings reveal song-like gibberish with up to 30 individual children's voices singing at any time. Recordings archived for future study. Event: Agent McCroy cuts a pumpkin's vine with a machete. Severed vine proceeds to bleed approximately 50 liters of human blood before shriveling. Blood type AB-, no DNA match. Event: overnight, 2 separate pumpkin patches grew onto the rough approximations of humanoid figures lying on the ground, destroyed without incident. Agent Long found decapitated, neck against a pumpkin. Disappeared en route to a restroom break. Oh man, can you imagine you gotta take a piss and the next thing people know is they find your body attached to a pumpkin?
I just wanted to take a piss.
All light bulbs on site burn out within a 2-minute period. Critical areas repaired before nightfall. Sudden shift noted in the location of several dozen gourd plants. Time and nature of actual event unknown. Agent Cole accidentally damages and breaks pumpkin during weekly examination of 97. Pumpkin splits open, revealing a complete human child's skeleton in the fetal position within. Female, approximately 5 years old. No DNA match.
Damn.
29 freshly decapitated crows found outside SCP-97's containment wall. No notes. Nothing to say about that one.
This is fun.
Matured pumpkin plant found to have replaced a potted plant growing inside Dr. Bridge's office. Indoor plants banned from the site. Pumpkin incinerated immediately. Agent Matthews falls unconscious during patrol and cannot be awoken until removed from property. Agent reported dreaming of autumn colors and the smell of leaves. Full recovery reassigned to desk work pending examination. Research assistant Sturm reports overwhelming taste and scent of pumpkin permeating her senses. No other personnel report anomaly. Transferred off-site, examination pending. Sounds of steady drums playing throughout the day from... Is that midnight?
Yeah.
Midnight to 11:59.
Whole
Source of
goddamn
sound...
day.
It's the fucking entire day. I don't know why they had to have to, like, specify that. Source of sound unknown. Recordings archived for future study. Male child, approximately 6 years of age and clad in pajamas, seen climbing through corn stalks in the eastern end of SCP-97, moving towards SCP-97-1. Lost to SCP-97-1. How the child was able to escape notice by personnel until after he was lost to the SCP is unknown. All personnel within 36 kilometers, or 3.6 kilometers of SCP-97-1 report hallucinations of orange haze and children's laughter. Personnel evacuated to a distance outside the area of effect. Personnel screened for mental interference. All power and backup power to the area failed. Upon recovery, redacted pumpkins within SCP-97 were found to have been carved into lanterns. It is unknown how SCP-97 generated and lit candles. Team 97 Alpha and Beta tasked to destroy lanterns after sunrise. Reputhalot. What?
What?
What? I don't think I said that.
What?
Reputhalot.
I have no idea.
Zia Maze and Durata. Fucking corn kernels. It's fucking corn. I don't. Corn kernels fall from sky around SCP-97. Does not fall within containment walls. Area cleansed with flame. And replanted with non-native grasses. Pavement of outside area pending. This is probably that kind of like multicolored corn that they use for decoration around like Halloween time.
Yeah.
Research assistant O'Toole overcome with nausea and vomits pumpkin seeds. O'Toole did not eat pumpkin seeds previous to vomiting. Research assistant O'Toole transferred to site redacted for examination. Seeds incinerated with prejudice.
Absolutely not.
Fuck no. Research assistant O'Toole reported to have died overnight. Autopsy reveals thoracic cavity was filled with pumpkin seeds. Body incinerated at site redacted. All personnel scheduled for full physical examination. Unintelligible whispering gibberish heard by fertile female.
Ugh.
Why do you have to? I
don't like that.
understand, but like, why? Heard by fertile female personnel throughout the area. When in view of SCP-97. Phenomenon continues throughout the day, continuing for the duration of SCP-97's cycle, i.e. until November 1st. Associated personnel removed from duty and scheduled for examination. Headlights of vehicle underneath SCP-97-1 light and stay lit until daybreak. None. Fruit trees within SCP-97 blossom over the course of 5 hours, beginning at roughly 7 o'clock. Flowers wither and fall soon after. No notes. Pumpkins near south entrance SCP-97 began spontaneously bleeding from the stem. Each continued to bleed for 3 hours. Blood type AB-, no DNA match. Several dozen unidentified spheres of red light viewed drifting above SCP-97 and surrounding area. When light was shown directly on the spheres, a piercing shriek was heard. Personnel called into the main building until the spheres dissipated at dawn. Sounds of steady drums are recorded within SCP-97. Drums persist for the following 12 hours. No source identified. Records archived for future study. All strawberry plants within SCP-97 wither in unison. No notes. Between 25 and 30 animate human skeletons of varying sizes are recorded breaking out of larger pumpkins within SCP-97. Skeletons traverse through 97's flora to the northeast peach tree and hang themselves from its branches using lengths of grapevine, electrical cable, and decaying rope. Skeletons ceased anomalous behavior after phantomiming death by hanging. Death throes continued for approximately 23 minutes. Skeletons recovered after first frost. All appeared under 12 years of age. No DNA matches. Skeletons incinerated after examination. I like this SCP. I like this one.
That is properly creepy.
Yeah, it's just like fucking
And we're
weird,
not done yet.
haunted, like old fairground. Alright, there's an
But I'm
ad.
not done yet.
Yeah, there's an ad break coming on, but I am going to keep reading. Addendum. Historical note. Prior to the construction of SCP-97's containment wall, instances of what are known as SCP-2171-1 were occasionally observed to form fragmented walls and at one point a near-complete ring of 2171 around SCP-97's area of effect. This behavior ceased following the containment wall's completion. The purpose and implications behind this interaction are as of yet unknown. Effects of 97 on children. In addition to its immediate effects outlined in Event Log SCP-97, SCP-97-1 appears to produce an undetectable signal towards children in an undetermined range. For clarity, children will refer to individuals up to the age of 10. Beginning in early April, civilian children within SCP-97's undefined range there are fucking... I don't know if those are fire trucks, police trucks, or ambulances. I don't know the difference, but there's a lot of them outside right now. Like, 2 blocks away? 3? Oh well. May be overcome with somnambulism on clear nights. Affected children will move around their homes, stopping to face closed doorways for several seconds before moving to the next nearest doorway, eventually returning to bed. At first, this behavior will occur only once a week, beginning with only the doors on a single floor. Now, sleepwalking will become more frequent, by mid-August happening every night. If forcibly awoken at any time during these episodes, they will scream for several seconds before succumbing to a degree of confusion. After an affected child is awoken in this manner, the effect will cease, and the child will show no further signs of SCP-97's influence.
Wow.
That requires a lot of them just not being, like, woken up by their parents. Like, for, like, weeks as they do this.
I have to imagine it's not like a short startled scream, given it says seconds. So I imagine it's like full tilt back screeching at the top of their lungs.
Yeah.
Like you know the COD Zombies long scream?
Yeah.
Like the old one? That. If it weren't such a pain in the ass to find the individual sound effects of that, I would absolutely play it.
Over the course of 2 to 3 months, these episodes will become more thorough, affected individuals seeking out each doorway inside their home, as well as those on their household's property, such as garages, car doors, and fence gates. Eventually, they will begin visiting the front doors of neighbors, beginning in September. Affected children who have remained undisturbed during these episodes will begin to remain outside at sunrise, laying on grass near their homestead, and returning to full REM sleep. Affected children may recall dreams centering around autumn activities. Between September 1st and November 1st, if the affected child have not been awoken during the preceding sleepwalking episodes, they will cease the previously established activity during the sleepwalk, and instead begin to walk directly towards SCP-97's location. They will travel over fields and down secondary roads, steadily moving towards SCP-97. Local geography consists mostly of undeveloped Foundation-owned property, facilitating uninterrupted travel. Upon arrival at SCP-97, an affected child will sit down before SCP-97-1 and begin singing unidentifiable gibberish as music begins to play. While a number of instruments have been recorded, simple drums and pipes are the most consistently encountered. After several minutes, childlike entities will crawl out from the tangled floor or break out of larger pumpkins within SCP-97. The children will be wearing whatever they were last seen with, most often pajamas or similar clothing. Many of these entities match those children known to be lost to SCP-97-1. The entities will surround the affected civilian child, dancing and singing in a circle as SCP-97-1 begins to emit dim light. The affected child will awaken, normally expressing a great deal of terror. The instant any vocalization is produced, the entities will swarm and kill the child. Methods used are different in each instance, but usually involve dismemberment or strangulation. At this point, any and all efforts to interrupt the entities will fail, whether through breakdown of equipment, sudden intangibility of the subjects, or expressive violence on the part of SCP-97. After the death of the affected child, SCP-97-1 will split open and the entities will hurl the remains into it before climbing in themselves. SCP-97-1 will then close and then the music will stop. Before the containment wall was erected, at least redacted children between the ages of 3 and 10 are known to have been lost to SCP-97. See Event Log 97 for current examples of SCP-97's behavior. Honestly, really cool SCP to start off Spooky Month
Yeah,
with.
how perfectly thematic.
Yeah. Fuck, did I upload the last one to the VOD channel?
No idea, man.
I hope I haven't missed any.
Hmm.
Alright, I need a break. Mord.
One sec.
That's fine, I need to move Junior out of the way. Come on, buddy. Eh.
Uh, all
God,
right.
Junior, you've got such a big belly. You get big boy. Alright, you can start whenever.
Item number SCP-98. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. Members of SCP-98 are to be kept in a 10-meter by 20-meter room with small pools of water and a sandy substrate. Rocks and driftwood are to be left in a random arrangement for SCP-98 to nest in. The enclosure is to be cleaned on a weekly basis. During this time, all members of SCP-98 are to be accounted for to prevent injury or death to personnel or SCP-98. Any members of SCP-98 that appear ill or injured are to be removed and examined. Description: SCP-98 is a species of previously unknown crustacean. They resemble crabs, but rather than chellae, the front limbs terminate in knife-like structures that incorporate silica to form an extremely sharp edge. Goddamn. Specimens reach a larger size than normal for land-dwelling arthropods, at 40 centimeters tall and as large as 60 centimeters across. Specimens of SCP-98 prefer an environment with ready concealment and shallow pools of water. They are able to breathe both water and air, splitting their time between the two environments. They are also capable of vocalizations using a larynx-like structure attached to primitive lungs.
Ugh.
SCP-98 demonstrates pack hunting behavior when attacking prey. When specimens detect a prey animal, they will attempt to surround it. They will mimic the sounds made by the creature, apparently to confuse it or draw it into position. When ready, one specimen will approach the prey animal. When its attention is fixed on the first specimen, others will move behind the prey and attempt to cut the tendons of the legs or other limbs. They will continue to mimic the sounds of the prey animal makes to disorient it. After making a cut, a specimen of SCP-98 will split spit viscous mucus over the wound. The substance hardens rapidly, preventing blood loss or infection. This continues until the prey animal is completely immobilized. Yeah, I don't like these. I don't like these very much.
I don't like these.
It's like conceptually a funny little murder crap, but
Yeah.
keep it away from me. At this point, specimens will begin to feed on the prey animal by cutting off small pieces of flesh. This begins with soft, readily accessible tissues, such as those of the face and extremities, before moving to other parts of the body. Specimens of SCP-98 will only feed so long as the prey animal is capable of respiration. Feeding can last several hours or several days, depending on the size of the prey animal and the number of specimens present. Specimens of SCP-98 show some ability to communicate, alerting others to the presence of threats or potential food over short distances. It was initially thought that SCP-98 might display human-level intelligence, but are now believed to merely parrot human speech. SCP-98 normally poses little threat to adult humans, preferring smaller prey such as dogs, cats, and small pigs. However, they have attacked larger prey when a sufficient number of specimens were present or else food was unavailable. SCP-98 was discovered in redacted Brazil after a rash of child disappearances. Ah, that's dark.
Oh man.
Not surprised, considering, but damn.
Yeah.
Addendum 98-1. SCP-98 is more intelligent than previously thought. They adapt quickly to changes in their environment and have shown an ability to remember patterns, such as feeding and cleaning times, and habitual movements of personnel entering their enclosure. Cleaning personnel must ensure that they regularly vary their routines through the enclosure to prevent incidents. Dr. Mann has taught several of them simple tricks, and they seem to understand the meaning of several commands. Testing will continue.
Thank you, Dr. Man. What does this lead me to? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm
Actually,
good.
no, this seems to be self-contained.
I don't think it's relevant to the SCP at hand.
Mm. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about the funny crabs, I'll be honest. I think this is just lore on Dr. Man, which I'll be honest,
Okay. Oh.
I'm good without the Dr. Man lore.
Okay, well, someone's not thorough.
I'm not 100%ing the wiki, okay?
Bitch.
We'll go back.
You started this fucking mess.
We'll go back. We'll go. We're doing a casual playthrough right now. We'll go back and grab the extra achievements later.
Yeah. Okay, buddy. Alright, if you say so.
Your last one was pretty small, so you can take this one too.
Oh, I see how it is.
Do you want me to take this one so you can have 100?
No, I don't care.
I personally wouldn't mind. But
Item number SCP-99, Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-99 is to be kept in a 1 meter by 75 centimeter wall-mounted fireproof case in Gallery 27. Standard climate and humidity controls apply to this section of the gallery. Due to its properties, SCP-99 can only be viewed within the gallery by Level 2 staff or higher, and only from a distance greater than 5 meters and for a period not exceeding 5 minutes per day. For not being viewed, the case is to remain shut and electronically locked. Description. SCP-99 is a 73 by 50 meter painting titled The Portrait. Created in 1935 by surrealist painter René Magritte, the original painting possesses mimetic properties that trigger acute paranoia and lingering psychological effects when viewed for too long or from a distance of approximately 3 meters or less. The painting depicts a simple still life with the addition of a single eye staring back at the viewer. A reproduction of the work currently hangs in the Museum of Modern Art in New York, with critical elements removed to prevent the paranoia trigger. For a detailed description of the changes, refer to Document 99B. Detailed reproductions and photographs of the original work retain its mimetic properties. Those who have viewed the painting for too long or from too close of a distance become subject to the delusion that any being or depiction of a being with eyes is staring at them. In extreme cases, subjects report that inanimate objects are making eye contact. The condition is so severe that subjects will even report making eye contact with individuals whose heads are completely turned away. Depending on the length of the original exposure to the painting, subjects may suffer from this condition until death, resulting in severe paranoia and ankylophobia.
What's the
If you want.
rational fear
Okay.
of crowds?
That's entirely fair, given what this thing is doing.
Yeah.
Weaponized replication. Fuck off. The condition. No, okay. Addendum. SCP-99 was recovered from the private collection of K. Sage, another surrealist painter. Recovery was performed by MTF Theta 6 Pink Panther. Mrs. Sage was unaware of the recovery and replacement of SCP-99, although pre-recovery investigations suggest she was aware of its properties and was either immune or looked. Margaret was still alive at the time SCP-99 was stored in Gallery 27. He remained under Foundation surveillance until his death in 1967. Research suggests that the painting's mimetic trigger was intentionally created, although the effect and power of the trigger was likely unintentional. Foundation has studied the rest of Margaret's work and has found no anomalous mimetic properties to this date. Weaponized replication, data expunged. Yeah, I'll fucking bet.
I like this one too.
Yeah, it's
Just
simple.
like
A lot
I
of
fucking love the
fun
simple
ones.
ones so much. It was 100.
Oh my god. Now we can
One.
start reading not in order. Smile. That's not happening.
Yeah, to
Well,
lunch. Alright, I might as well take this one.
Yep.
Alright, dude, don't posture check me at this historic moment, dude. What the hell? We'll never forget this. Anyone who's here will never forget this for the rest of their lives, I'm sure of it. Item number SCP-100. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. SCP-100 is to have 6 guards patrolling the interior of the perimeter's fencing, and 2 guards dedicated to monitoring the interior. Okay. 2 guards dedicated to the monitoring of the interior and exterior of both warehouses and the residential building, with rotations to occur every 3 hours. Any unauthorized personnel found within SCP-100 are to be detained for questioning prior to amnestic administration and release. It's a smile stone object actor? I don't know what that is. Is that like...
anyways, back to reading.
What? 3 guards are to remain within the storefront of SCP-100, with rotations to occur every 8 hours. The storefront entrance is to remain locked at all times, with keys provided to necessary personnel. Private property and no trespassing signs are to be posted on the front of the store to deter any drivers from stopping at 100. Any constructs SCP-100-1 creates are to be removed from SCP-100 and melted down into slag, with the exception of SCP-100-2-A and SCP-100-2-B. Should SCP-101 become uncooperative, SCP-102-A and SCP-102-B may be removed from SCP-100 until the time that SCP-100-1 becomes cooperative again. The largest of the 2 warehouses within SCP-100 has been converted into a basic research facility. All objects created by SCP-100-1... God damn it! Fucking... Please! There are so many... God... SCP-100, 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 SCP-100-1, SCP-100, SCP-100-1-2-2A, SCP-100-2B, SCP-101, SCP-102-A. Please!
Is there a rest stop between here and the point?
There's so many. God damn it.
Let's not ruin this momentous moment, says Helix. Helix proceeding to start bitching only like a third of the way into the article.
A third of the article is the words SCP-100-1A2.
Yeah. So get to reading, fuckboy.
Okay, the largest of the 2... Okay, it is this one. The largest of the 2 warehouses within SCP-100 has been converted into a basic research facility. All objects created by SCP-100-1, excluding SCP-102- wait... and SCP-102-B may be used for research purposes. Testing on 101-1 itself may be conducted with written permission from the acting head research. I'm losing my mind.
Should I?
Oh my god! Yes! I don't want to do this a second longer.
Oh my fuck. Okay. Description. SCP-100 is an abandoned scrapyard 80 kilometers from redacted South Carolina, known as Jamaican Joe's Junkyard Jubilee. The scrapyard covers roughly 5,000 square meters of fenced-off land, consisting of 2 warehouses, a storefront, and a small residential building, as well as neglected land and land used for storage. SCP-100 holds roughly 1,500 vehicles, both pressed and unpressed, as well as roughly 1,400 kilograms of separate scrap, estimated to be worth $5,000. Wow. SCP-100's anomalous effect manifests through SCP-100-1 and its constructs, including SCP-100-2-A and SCP-100-2-B. Autonomy is lost when SCP-100-1 or one of its sub-objects cross the fence perimeter of SCP-100, remaining in this state until reintroduction. SCP-100-1 is an autonomous, sapient humanoid construct consisting mostly of copper piping, uninsulated copper wiring, and aluminum cans. SCP-100-1 lacks the ability for written or verbal communication. However, it possesses the ability to communicate using rudimentary sign language. SCP-100-1 is largely uninterested in conversation outside of sales, and information gathered from it has been limited. SCP-100-1 appears to possess skill in craftsmanship, demonstrating the ability to operate tools such as arc welders, drills, and power saws, as well as heavy machinery such as car compressors and forklifts. SCP-101 possesses the ability to create autonomous constructs similar to itself using material available within SCP-100. SCP-100 tends to create 4 specific animals: iguanas, crocodiles, turtles, and flamingos. However, SCP-100-1 has been known to craft other species, such as domestic pets. To maintain compliance, SCP-100-1 has been allowed to keep 2 objects labeled SCP-100-2A and SCP-100-2-B. Fuck me.
It's awful.
SCP-100-2A and SCP-100-2B are constructs superficially resembling insects, assumed to be created by SCP-100, as they have occupied SCP-100 since the initial discovery of SCP-100. Names Ramon and Beatrice are welded into the backs of SCP-100-2A and B, respectively. They appear to operate as both companions as well as guards for SCP-100, as they patrol the perimeter of SCP-100, except during intervals of interaction with SCP-100-1. SCP-100-1 appears to follow a ritualistic schedule, repeating the same actions daily. From 0800 to 1500, SCP-100-1 enters the storefront of SCP-100, seating itself behind a counter and attempting to bargain with any humans within the storefront. Occasionally, SCP-100-1 will return to the yard prematurely for reasons unknown. From 1500 to 1600, SCP-100-1 interacts with SCP-100-2A and B, communicating using vague hand and arm gestures. Interaction tends to consist of grooming, repairs, and activities resembling fetch and hide and seek. Ah, that's cute. From 1600 to 2000, SCP-100-1 performs various tasks, including taking stock of material within SCP-100, cleaning and maintaining tools and heavy machinery, and cleaning the interior and exteriors of buildings present within SCP-100. From 2000 to, I'm just going to say midnight, SCP-100-1 performs what is assumed to be leisurely acts, ranging from creating new constructs, interacting with SCP-100-2A and B, and patrolling SCP-100. From midnight to 0800 hours, SCP-100-1 enters a residential building, but remains seated at a desk for the duration of this time. In the event that a human enters the storefront of SCP-100 during the interval of time where SCP-100-1 is seated behind the counter, SCP-100-1 will attempt to bargain with them, using a variety of gestures to convey meaning. Most attempts by SCP-100-1 are to sell scrap, figures of its own creation, or repair services. However, it has been known to purchase scrap. Despite SCP-100-1's inability to read, it possesses the ability to perform basic mathematics, as demonstrated by sales. Sales made by SCP-100-1 are typically met with some degree of unfairness. SCP-100-1 has been known to intentionally use faulty scales and contaminate scrap piles with cheaper metals, and has demonstrated knowledge of the area of effect within SCP-100, as SCP-101 has sold constructs repeatedly, despite the loss of autonomy when exiting SCP-100. He's a fucking chiseler. I love him. Where was I? Okay. Efforts to confront SCP-100-1 about this have have been met with both distress and indifference, with referral to a sign posted on the wall reading "No refunds, Mon," happening regardless of SCP-101's emotional response. SCP-100 was discovered on November 9th of 1976, following reports of strange machines operating from within the scrapyard. These rumors were discredited as urban legends, and a Foundation agent was sent to SCP-100 to act as the landowner until containment was performed under the guise of property sale. A wooden privacy fence was built along the former perimeter of SCP-100. One-way windows were installed in the storefront, and a highway now running through the nearby town of Redacted redirects the majority of civilian traffic. It's really subtle, but I do appreciate the fact that they're implying that they have that much sway. Just, yeah, I need you people to redirect the highway elsewhere around this.
Yeah.
Just keep it away. Addendum 100A. Records show the property is owned by one Joseph Duvall, with the mailing address sharing the same name. Local utility companies report billing had stopped approximately 3 months before the discovery of SCP-100, which was found abandoned save for SCP-101, SCP-100-2A, 100-2B, and several avian and canine figures presumed to be made by SCP-100-1. The initial sweep of the building revealed the residential buildings to be mostly bare, with the only signs of former occupants being a note found taped to the door of the storefront. See document 100-A. Incident 100-A. On July 3rd of 2005, SCP-100-1 created a humanoid autonomous construct 10 centimeters in height. The first time SCP-101 or 100-1 has done so. Significant effort was put into this construct compared to others, with greater detail applied to the construct, including facial features and JJ being welded into the back of the construct, and stainless steel making up the majority of the construct. SCP-100-1 is giving me a coughing attack, Christ. Placed the construct on the counter of the storefront for the duration of the scheduled interval, both using vague gestures to seemingly communicate with one another. Following the confiscation of the construct, SCP-100-1 remained seated within the residential building of SCP-100 for a total of 10 days. Document 100A. The following is a copy of the note recovered upon discovery of SCP-100. Out to lunch, please see assistant. JJ.
Okay.
Incredible.
I like the SCP, but God, reading it was just such a problem for me.
Yeah, I could tell.
Yeah, hold on. Out of just curiosity. 92 times. Oh my god, dude.
Oh.
It- We're gonna compare that to some other articles when we get to them.
Don't be a dick.
Just out of curiosity. Like, hold
Alright,
on.
have at it.
What if we did that here?
No.
Oh, I messed up. Oh, mistake. 27 times. This one's a lot shorter, but still.
Hey, Alex,
Yeah.
read the fucking article.
Real quick, I will be right back, but then I'll read the article.
You scoundrel.
Wrong. Unacceptable.
Nice, you want to read it, Rich.
This man has no standards. Also, hi, Rich.
I finished making gumbo.
Wow.
Celestial orbit tuning, my beloved.
Is this true?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm back.
Well,
Alright. Item number SCP-101. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-101 is currently stored in the sub-basement O2 of Site-19, inside of a standard fireproof document lockbox, within a reinforced concrete room of standard facility size. Said room has been fitted externally with a standard double-door airlock, and internally fitted with appropriate safety responses equipment as well as biological response equipment. Only personnel of level 3 are permitted to enter the SCP-101 holding room. Personnel of level 2 or lower are permitted to interact with SCP-101, only with directives from level 3 or higher personnel, or with standing directives. The airlock for SCP-101 is set to a standard 10-minute cycle, during which standard screening scan for biological or environmental hazards will be made. SCP-101 is understanding SCP-101 is understanding directives for use during OUT 600 and 2000 hours. Outside of the airlock of the holding room for SCP-101, 2 level 2 guards will be posted at all times with overlapping shifts. God fucking damn it, Ridge.
that was in fact terrible news.
There we go, 5-minute timer has started. Description: SCP-101 appears as a satchel or bag of intermittent size, with observations ranging from an opening of 15 centimeters in diameter to 70 centimeters in diameter. The depth of the container has varied, with no standard meaning of equality to the relative diameter. The primary feature of SCP-101 is what appears to be a semi-humanoid mouth contained within the opening of the bag, with a mean standard of 31 centimeters of depth into the container, without more than 2 standard deviations of variance regardless of the apparent external depth of the container. What the fuck does that even mean? I may be stupid, but come on! The mouth consists of 32 teeth of an off-white hue, all of equal shape and size, consisting solely of incisors of approximately 10 centimeters in length. It has been observed, albeit not measured with accuracy, that within the mouth there is a tongue of indeterminate length, with observations ranging from 50 centimeters to 3.5 meters. The mouth appears wet and spongy, however all attempts at removal of possible fluids have resulted in failure, with damage to the instruments and harm to the personnel. The current decision is that SCP-101 may be part of a larger entity of extra-dimensional origin. SCP-101 is not externally mobile, however internal movements within the container can affect minor movements of the exterior of the container consists of SCP-101's covering. It is understood that due to the nature of the size and probabilities of the container and object within, the object is of extra-dimensional interaction if not origin. Origin, not orange. Origin. SCP-101 has exhibited polymorphic abilities as well as a low level of sentience. The photo on file depicts this item as it was discovered in 1979 in a remote area of the Cascade Mountains in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. Found along with SCP-101 was the decayed remains of a human, clad in a weathered black suit, seated upon an also weathered parachute, missing the right arm up to the joint of the shoulder, which appeared to have bite marks through the remaining bones, assumed to have been inflicted by SCP-101. Speculation as to the identity of this deceased individual has led researchers to the conclusion that this was one D.B. Cooper. Remains removed for the purposes of concealing the existence of SCP-101.
You know, I'm amazed we got a name for that guy rather than redacted.
Yeah.
Yeah? Why does the name D.B. Cooper seem familiar?
No clue.
Hmm.
They presented it in a weird way. Are we sure that's his actual name and not like some weird term for unidentified individual?
Date of birth, Cooper. Oh.
Alias of an
It's-
unidentified man who hijacked a flight. That checks out,
So
you
it's a
know?
John Doe sort of thing. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So this is, I presume, entirely related, since, you know,
Got it,
he
Agent Smith.
presumably
Understood.
fell from the air and then the suitcase ate his arm.
Warg.
SCP-101 has since changed appearance and shape with the apparent end of enticing a subject into reaching within the container. These appearances have ranged from money satchels to deli boxes to Krispy
Back at it again.
to Krispy Kreme containers to candy bags, all of which an external appearance that is indistinguishable from that of the real containers. It has been proposed by Dr. Redacted that SCP-101 is semi-sentient in its attempts to lure subjects in. At the recommendation of Redacted, SCP-101 is currently in use as a means of refuse disposal for Site-19. SCP-101 has not shown adverse reaction to having foreign matter introduced to it, including but not limited to paper products, sewage, cafeteria refuse, metals, polymers, oils, and other products which are not consumable by any known biological entity. Addendum 1.
Wow.
So far, SCP-101 has not exhibited any abnormal behaviors from the standards observed, nor has SCP-101 emitted any substances either foreign, extradimensional, or abnormal. However, it is the concern of Dr. Redacted that SCP-101 may produce an emission in the future. Addendum 2. Oh, I can put my glasses back on. Oh my god. Addendum 2. Further examination under the direction of Dr. Redacted has determined that SCP-101 is ideal for the disposable hazard waste and byproducts of other SCP-related projects. Dr. Redacted is noted as being opposed to this measure, however. O5 Redacted has given authorization for the project to continue.
Okay, so like, what happens if you turn the bag inside out?
That's... Maybe that's what causes it to spill everything.
Bag of holding.
Alright, do it again.
You want me to do this one too?
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair. Alright. SCP-102 is currently in the possession of... Fuck, I kind of started off... I jumped the gun a little bit there, my bad. Item number, SCP-102. Object class, Euclid. Special containment procedures. SCP-102 is currently in the possession of Marshall, Carter, and Dark, Ltd. Because ownership appears to be a binding, deed-based legalistic agreement independent of eminent domain. SCP-102 cannot be transferred to Foundation control in the foreseeable future. Description: SCP-102 is a pair of standalone condominium-style beach houses located at Redacted, currently owned by Marshall, Carter, and Dart. Though the use of a dummy corporation known as Geyser Housing Associates and rented to MC&D members as a vacation home for those with discerning taste in the eclectic adventures of privileged life. The two share similar properties, although redacted. SCP-102-1 is the house on the left, number redacted. When a person whose name is not on the lease for SCP-102-1 enters the building, its interior appears as that of a crumbling empty house, with the prone body of the current leaseholder just inside the doorway, if the house is occupied. Forensics tests on materials recovered from within the house show it to have been abandoned since the mid to late 70s. All photographs taken within 102-1 corroborate this, regardless of the lease status of the photographer. However, when the leaseholder of the house enters via the front door, they find themselves in a fairly normal and well-kept condominium decorated with a nautical theme. Often, they report a sensation of dizziness upon entering, which fades within a few seconds. When the leaseholder of SCP-102-1 exits the building, they become what is, to all intents and purposes, an incorporeal spiritual manifestation, capable of willful invisibility and moving through solid objects unimpeded. They enter and remain in this state each time they leave the house for the duration of the lease. At the conclusion of their lease, or at any time they willfully break the terms of said lease, they fall briefly unconscious and awaken on the floor at the front entrance of SCP-102-1, which appears to them as it does to any non-leaseholder. No bodies have been observed being removed from the house prematurely.
Okay, so it lets you walk through walls, disappear, and fly. Okay.
Ghost house.
This is true.
SCP-102-2 is the house on the right, number redacted. At first glance, the effect of SCP-102-2 is identical to SCP-102-1. However, redacted advanced decay, followed by redacted. Leaseholders of SCP-102-2 who do not exit the building promptly at the cessation of their contract are to be declared missing and presumed dead, 30 days following the end of their lease. Leaseholders who do exit the building are to be administered a regimen of steroid-based enhancers to counter the redacted Itord constantly for signs of psychological aberration. Addendum. All information in this report is unverified, though details are consistent from multiple sources. The content of this report was taken from the interviews with D-Class personnel numbers 107, death sentence for murder and thing I shouldn't say. 103, life without parole, aggravated assault on a minor. And 337, death sentence, redacted, all of whom were frequent tenants of SCP-102-1 prior to incarceration. It is theorized that D-103 made use of SCP-102-1's effect to commit redacted. See interview logs 102-123 for full transcripts.
No.
Those
Actually.
don't exist. Either way, I don't know if I want to see that.
No. And we're not
this
going
is
to.
something. All right. I believe it's your turn, Moward.
Yeah. Okay. Item number SCP-103. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-103-1 is to be suspended in an indefinite vegetative state. Under no circumstances is SCP-103-1 to die, with all effort to be taken to ensure its survival. SCP-103 itself is not relevant in the context of containment. Description. SCP-103 describes a phenomenon currently affecting Dr. Iwan Mara, a white male in his mid-40s and head of Site Redacted's Department of Extra-Dimensional Studies. During an aggressive experimental treatment for metastatic stomach cancer, Dr. Mara was placed into a medicinally induced coma. Concurrently, Dr. Jacob Reese, Dr. Mara's research partner, reported a drastic uptick in local Hume levels. Believing this to be due to Dr. Mara's proximity to dimensional-based anomalies, Dr. Reese requested Dr. Mara's relocation to the Department of Extra-Dimensional Studies for containment until the designation SCP-103-1. Presently, SCP-103-1's stomach is missing, replaced by a similarly sized extra-dimensional rift, but is believed to be in otherwise stable condition. Additionally, SCP-103 does not produce any waste despite being regularly provided nutrients and fluids through intravenous means. An upper endoscopy was conducted during SCP-103-1's initial containment, with the scope disappearing shortly after insertion. A follow-up surgery was conducted to recover the scope, instead revealing an absence of biological materials and reflected light within SCP-103. He looks if you would. Thank you. Addendum. SCP-103.1. Object Testing. Currently, we possess very little knowledge of Dr. Iwan Mara's condition. I had the honor of working closely with Dr. Mara during his tenure as the head of extra-dimensional studies, and even as his diagnosis progressed, he was still committed to the pursuit of knowledge. In his current state, Dr. Mara continues to provide us with the means to pursue knowledge, a once-in-a-lifetime chance to advance the Foundation's knowledge of parabiology and dimensional mechanics. It is with his mission in mind that I carry this burden. Although he is dying in the dark, his sacrifice will preserve those who still live in the light. Dr. Jacob Reese, Interim Head of Extra-Dimensional Studies. Dr. Reese was assigned as the lead researcher for SCP-103 and was tasked with the initial creation of containment and testing documentation. Following an internal ethics committee review, Dr. Reese's request to test SCP-103 was granted. SCP-103, Test Number 1. Problem. Presently, any and all forms of energy or matter that enter SCP-103's stomach are entirely consumed, as there is no calculated change in entropy following consumption. As there is no calculated change in entropy following consumption, questions surrounding where energy or matter consumed by SCP-103 goes have been raised. Proposed solution. Adding multidimensional nano-trackers developed in the Department of Extra-Dimensional Studies to SCP-103-1's liquid nutritional diet. We may be able to determine the location of materials consumed by SCP-103. Outcome. Failure. SCP-103 is spread to encompass the small intestines. He looks like he
That's
would.
not good.
No, probably not. Test 1. Video log. Personnel present: Dr. Ewan Mara, Head of Extra-Dimensional Studies; Dr. Jacob Reese, Interim Head of Extra-Dimensional Studies; Junior Researcher Redacted, Site Redacted Medical Staff. Date: November 28th of 2007. Who's taking who?
Fuck. Okay, you're redacted guy. I can take Reese as well as you take the
Yay. A researcher sits on a stool in front of the camera. Behind him, a gowned figure holding a clipboard stands next to a metallic rolling table. A large syringe filled with a tan paste sitting atop it. He clears his throat.
Greetings. My name is Dr. Jacob Reese, and with me is Dr. Mara, the current head of Extra-Dimensional Studies. My assistant here is from the site's medical wing.
He looks down at SCP-103-1, who is laying down on a hospital bed. Wires and tubes protrude from it, plugged into a collection of different machines that buzz and beep in the background.
How's it doing?
He chuckles before the recording goes silent for a moment.
Apologies, I'm still trying to get used to everything.
No worries, sir. We offer grief counseling if that's something you would find beneficial. From what I've heard, the two of you are close, so I thought it might be worthwhile to bring it up.
Your concern is noted, but I can assure you I'm fine. Once we learn more about Dr. Mara's condition, we can start to figure out how to fix it. Are you ready to proceed?
Redacted flips back to the first page of their clipboard and adjusts their glasses. SCP-103-1 appears stable, and the anesthesiologist made sure everything was good to go about an hour ago.
Perfect. In that case, we can begin.
Reese wheels over to the bedside, sliding the table over with him. He takes the syringe and places it into an IV port, pushing the plunger in and gently lays the empty tube on SCP-103-1's torso. Redacted stands beside him. You think this will work?
We developed these trackers for extra-dimensional locating. If we're dealing with a rift, mapping it would be the first step to figuring in how we can stabilize it.
He chuckles.
You know, before, well, everything, Dr. Mara and I were planning on using these to map pocket dimensions.
Is this safe?
Biocompatibility wasn't something we necessarily tested for, but it can't be worse for him than the chemo at this point. Also, they're quite robust, so we shouldn't have to worry about the paste breaking them down.
I see. Did you want to, I don't know, talk about it?
Once he gets better, you can learn all about him yourself. For now, focus on the sensors. They should be coming online soon.
Denial is common in situations like this. You can tell me how you met. Reese clears his throat. Redacted goes silent.
Respectfully, his story is not mine to tell. Now work.
The room goes silent. Over the course of the next half hour, Reese alternates between the desk and bedside, checking his computer every 2 minutes. Redacted stands in the corner of the room. Have the sensors sent back anything?
They have
Reese
not.
sighs.
Since these were prototypes, though their mapping time may take longer, I'll check again tomorrow.
I can come back later to check, if you're okay.
I'd rather you not. Let's finish up here.
Redacted collects their items and stands by the door. Reese refreshes the computer once more and frowns before shutting it off. He walks towards the camera and pauses, turning to look at SCP-103-1.
I'll see you tomorrow, Iwan. I promise I can still fix this.
End log. Following the conclusion of test number 1, an anonymous tip was raised to Site Redacted's ethics Ethics Committee liaison, specifically citing a concern for Dr. Reese's behavior and well-being. When asked, Dr. Reese noted that his comments were specifically pertaining to owing Dr. Mara for their time together and reflected no personal stake in the anomaly. SCP-103 Test Number 2. Problem. SCP-103 should spread past the confines of the subject's body, poses a threat to the remainder of the site and, by extension, the world. The mechanics of how and why SCP-103 grows are currently unknown. Proposed solution. Thaumaturgically binding SCP-103 to SCP-103-1. Outcome. Success. SCP-103 has spread to encompass the large intestine and rectum.
Not the boy.
Indeed. Test number 2, video log. Personnel present: Dr. Ewan Mara, Head of Extradimensional Studies; Dr. Jacob Reese, Interim Head of Extradimensional Studies; Chief Thaumaturge, redacted. Date: January 11th of 2009. Same as before?
Yep.
Begin log. Two figures stand in front of the camera on opposite sides of SCP-103-1. One wears short sleeves and is covered with tattoos. The other wears a half-tucked button-down shirt and loosely knotted tie. His face is red with sweat.
With all due respect, ma'am, now that I have the camera on, can you please repeat what exactly you are planning to do to him?
Blood-based runes are some of the strongest tools a thaumaturge has when stabilizing humanoid anomalies. She crosses her arms. That is, unless you'd prefer we cover his entire body with tattoos, but even then...
No such thing will be happening. We don't even know how this will affect the rest of his body. How do we know this won't kill him outright?
Runic-based medical treatments have been used longer than we've had written history. On top of that, you were the one who sought thaumaturgic treatment in the first place. This was cleared with medical, so let me do my job. Reese pauses for a second. He grabs a towel from a nearby chair, wiping his face with it.
Right. I did do that. Please carry on.
Thanks. Redacted steps forward towards SCP-103-1 and places her fingers on its neck. Dr. Reese flinches.
Is that really necessary?
It is, Doctor. I don't think they would be too pleased if they discovered you were messing around with a corpse this whole time. Dr. Reese opens his mouth to say, but says nothing. Redacted produces an ornate, silvery blade from a sheath. If you're squeamish, I would recommend looking away. Dr. Reese turns away, facing the camera. In the background, Redacted removes SCP-103-1's pants and shirt and begins carving runic sequences into his skin.
I'm assuming you plan on cleaning up after yourself?
Of course, I'm a package deal. After 2 hours, Redacted finishes. She places her knife in a tray of disinfectant and walks over to the lab sink. Reese speed walks over to SCP-103-1, inspecting it. He balls his fists.
Please tell me, after all of this, he's going to improve?
I can't guarantee results, Doctor. This is your experiment, after all.
It is still alive. My goal here is recovery, not experimentation. I just want to make sure this doesn't spread further than it already has.
Redacted walks back over to the tray and removes her knife, wiping the liquid off and returning it to its sheath. That's not what we agreed on. The rift is now bound to its body and will die when it does, but the rift will consume it eventually. She places a hand on Reese's shoulder. Personally, I would make that sooner rather than later. There's no point in continuing his suffering. Reese forcefully removes her hand before straightening up his appearance.
Your input is noted, Chief Thaumaturge. We still have hope for his recovery, however, and Mara wouldn't have wanted me to give up so easily.
If you say so. Redacted turns and leaves the frame. After the door closes, Dr. Reese kicks a table, knocking its contents to the floor. He stands in frame, breathing heavily, before walking over to the camera. End log. Chief Thaumaturge Iakovos and Dr. Reese both submitted reports to Site Redacted's HR department following their interaction, citing she was entirely out of line given the circumstances of the situation, and he really needs to be checked out. Dr. Reese was put on final notice, with removal as head of the SCP-103 project following his next infraction. To confirm thaumaturgic binding of the anomaly and exploratory laparotomy, large incision to gain access to the abdominal cavity. Got it. Okay. Was conducted. and SCP-103's containment chamber was converted into a clean room. Following SCP-103's spread to the large intestine and unknown artifacting from traditional biological imaging, a more direct means of observation was needed. Examinations confirmed that although SCP-103 is visible through bed sores on the subject's back, materials outside of its body are unaffected. SCP-103 Test 3. Problem. Spent fuel from the site's nuclear reactor presents an issue of storage and disposal. Current disposal methods are carried out under treaties with the United States government, but occur infrequently, leading to sections of the site needing to be re- relegated to site to store hazardous materials. Sorry, I had a full moment. Additionally, a large portion of site funding is focused on spent nuclear fuels, leading to a lack in funding for research projects and further essential services. No solution. Direct disposal of spent nuclear waste into SCP-103-1. Outcome: success. SCP-103 is going to encompass 65% of the abdominal cavity. I'm so glad that
Wow,
their first
fucking
instinct
pump
upon kicking
nuclear
out the other
waste
guy
into
was to
him.
start feeding him waste.
Just fucking pump it in there while you still have, the person with
I-
clear stability issues revolving around this person
I'm-
as the lead.
I'm so glad their first instinct was to just start feeding him depleted uranium rods.
Yummy.
Don't touch the plutonium fuel rods, as those will kill you right now.
Right now. Test number 3, video log. Personnel present: Dr. Ewan Marr, head of extradimensional studies; Dr. Jacob Reese, interim head of extradimensional studies. Date January 19th of 2008. Begin log. The figure slouches in front of the camera. He is slightly disheveled, his shirt is untucked, and his lab coat unbuttoned. He wears a heavy lead vest. The footage from the camera is grainy. The Geiger counter steadily ticks in the background.
Greetings. My name is Dr. If you're watching this, I'm sure you know who I am by now. I'd rather skip the formalities so I can return to our conversation.
He motions to SCP-103-1 and a collection of metallic cylinders sitting next to it. Reese laughs.
You don't know half of the trouble it took me to convince the ethics committee to let me run more tests. I'm surprised they approved this one, but at this point, I'd take anything. In these cylinders are depleted fuel from the site's reactor that have accumulated over the past 20 years or so. Before he died, one of A1's side projects was to figure out what exactly to do with them. He hoped one day it would all just disappear so he wouldn't have to worry about it.
Reese chuckles and wheels over to the bed, grabbing a cylinder.
Do you find this as funny as I do, Ewan? The universe is cruel in that way.
He removes the surgical sheet covering SCP-103's abdomen, pausing for a moment.
Maybe with enough of these cylinders, the density will steal the anomaly. Your health has been improving markedly. Well, hell, you look pinker than a newborn baby.
Dr. Reese slides the cylinder into SCP-103-1. A squelching noise can be heard before it disappears entirely. He rolls his chair over to the head of the bed.
Your wife still writes to you, by the way. She was distraught at first, but I've been updating her about your condition in her correspondence. Your son has been enjoying first grade as well. Big fantasy fan.
He grabs another cylinder and repeats the process.
He says he's going to go on a quest to find you a potion that'll wake you up.
Dr. Reese grabs another cylinder, but pauses before lifting it.
I think I would trade anything for some potion. A panacea, even. Maybe the next test will be transferring SCP-103 into my body. No, you wouldn't want that. Stubborn as always.
He places a cylinder into SCP-103-1's abdomen. The recording is silent for the remainder of the cylinders, besides the fading clicking of the Geiger counter.
But this is the best I can do for now. For now... Oh, shit. This is the best I can do for now. I'm running out of card supply. There must be something, anything I can use to get you back. A Faustian bargain doesn't seem too bad given the circumstances.
Dr. Reese walks over to the camera.
I doubt I'm worth... God, can I read anymore? Did I forget?
No.
I doubt I'm worth much to anyone at this point.
Also, Faustian. No.
Hemlock.
2 months following Test 4, Site Redacted's nuclear waste storage was noted to have been empty by 75% following the protocol laid out by Dr. Reese. During this time, researchers conducting the protocol observed a noted decline in Dr. Reese's physical and mental well-being. When asked to speak on this with on-site psychologists, Reese declined, replying that he just needed more time and it was almost perfect. When asked to elaborate, Reese refused to comment. He's fine.
I don't get what you mean by that, Ridge. Like the guy
Eh,
with the paper bag on his head. I don't know. I don't get
you
it.
wouldn't get it. You're not cool. Anyways,
Yeah. Wait, is it a
SCP
fucking Guilty
100.
Gear reference? Wait a fucking minute.
What's this? Anyways, SCP-103, test number 4. Problem. Before his diagnosis, Ewan was experimenting with a way to contain and neutralize localized extra-dimensional rifts. I've been looking over his notes for the past month, and I think he was on the cusp of something. The math works, I just need to make it a reality. This could be my final chance to save him, and I intend to do so. Proposed solution. Make this right. SCP, or fucking hell. Outcome. Failure. SCP-103 has grown to encompass 98% of the abdominal cavity.
Oh.
Test number 4. Video log. Personnel present. Dr. Ewan Mara, Head of Extradimensional Studies. Dr. Jacob Reese, Interim Head of Extradimensional Studies. Date. March 23rd, 2008. Begin log. The frame is half covered with a sticky note. Mumbling and shuffling can be heard from the other side, as well as the scraping of metal. Something heavy falls, knocking into a metallic object. The word fuck is heard before the sound of scraping continues. After 30 minutes, the shuffling ceases and is replaced with panting. The nose is removed from the camera, with Dr. Reese taking up much of the frame. His shirt is unbuttoned and untucked and stained with a mix of sweat and oil. He steps back from the camera and rubs his hands together.
Greetings. What you see before you now is nothing more than a testament to Ewan's genius.
Dr. Reese tilts the camera, pointing it directly at SCP-103-1. A metallic tesseract rests atop its chest, with thick cords interfacing with the object's sides. The device emits a soft white glow.
I'm going to spare you the notes and the math and the amount of funding required to build this. Ewan has been gone too long, and every second that passes by continues to be a disservice to him.
Reese sits on a stool and slides next to the device.
I was never religious, but Ewan was. He invited me over for Sunday dinner, and his son told me all about the story of Lazarus. Now, Lazarus was ill, and his sisters had sent for Jesus to perform a miracle to save his life. Jesus had to walk 2 days to get back to Lazarus.
Reese taps a sequence of keys on a keyboard, and the object begins to hum.
If a man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because the light is not in him. I'm going to return the light to you, Ewan. I'm going to make you whole again.
Reese stands, twisting a handle at the top of the box, opening it. The frame goes white.
Jesus said unto her, Thy brother shall rise again. I am the resurrection and the life. And the life. He that believeth on me, though he die, yet shall he live.
The frame goes dark before the brightness auto-adjusts. Reese stands next to SCP-103-1, gripping the rails of its bed. A mass of cords feeds into SCP-103, partially consumed where they meet the edge of the anomaly. 30 minutes pass. Reese stands next to the bed, swaying. 2 hours pass. 4 hours pass. Dr. Reese slumps over in the stool next to the bed and places his head in his hands.
Then Jesus therefore said unto them plainly, Lazarus is dead.
Reese wheels over to the camera, looking down. His face is red. A single tear runs down his cheek. He reaches out a frame, but pauses. His hand returns, and he folds them in front of him on the desk. He sighs.
When I was younger, my mother and sister were both diagnosed with cancer less than 1 year apart from each other. Breast cancer and leukemia. I was a child then, and there was nothing I could do to help either of them. I could hardly handle being in the same room with them during treatment. They both got better, thankfully, but that changes something in your mind. You don't want to be powerless anymore. If you have the ability to do something to help someone, you do it as quickly as you possibly can.
Dr. Reese turns to look at SCP-103-1.
Ewan had everything going for him. A fantastic wife, an energetic boy. He was living the dream of more than half of the researchers on this site. He was a good man, too. Almost like the brother I never had. He saw that drive in me that nobody else did. So when he got sick, I made a decision. A really poor decision. But still the best decision I could have. He didn't deserve to suffer. Not like that. Not like this. I guess I wasn't ready to say goodbye yet. I thought maybe if I can just keep giving him the chances, he'll get through this.
Reese looks away from the camera and wipes his eyes with one of his hands.
I'm sorry, Yuan. I failed you.
He reaches behind the camera and the frame goes black. 3 hours following test number 4, site security was dispatched to SCP-103's containment chamber to confirm the status of the anomaly and to detain Dr. Reese. Upon entering the room, security found Dr. Reese's personal effects and research notes on the desk next to the camera, with his shoes next to SCP-103-1's bed. An unsubmitted test was found on the room's computer. SCP-103, test number 5. Problem. Regret and guilt are emotions relating to failing the morality of the individual. They occur when one is disappointed and responsible for the decisions they have made, regardless of whether the outcome was expected or not. Proposed solution. Acceptance is the final stage of grief, according to the Kubler-Ross model. Acceptance is when an individual finally recognizes their circumstances and, with clarity lacking in the rest of the stages of grief, embraces the future. Outcome. Upon observing SCP-103-1, a syringe containing trace amounts of pancuronium bromide, what is that? A drug used to induce muscle paralysis and respiratory arrest, I see, was found still connected to its IV port. SCP-103-1 was announced dead shortly after and, with the phenomenon neutralized, was buried following standard Foundation protocol. Dr. Reese's location is currently unknown.
Oh.
Damn.
He fucking killed himself in the void, dude. He jumped in.
Yep.
Oh. I like this one.
This
This
is a
one was good.
fantastic
Cannonball.
article.
This is fantastic, yeah.
I love Survivors of the Void.
God, that was so long. Oh my god, I was into it,
Yeah.
though. Oh, that was good. I really like that one. This is small as
that's the
fuck.
stuff.
Rich, do you want to give us both a break?
Sure, why not? Give me a shot.
Because, like, you definitely did read more than me on that article, Mord, but I'd still say there was just a lot for both of us.
Wait, let me see here. Da, 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 da. Okay. Ahem. SCP-104, Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. 104 is currently contained in a steel box with electronic keypad access. Access is to be restricted to Class 3 and higher. Do not allow 104 to come in contact with any living tissue. Any and all interaction with 104 is to be handled via robotic assistance or with full hazmat suits and gloves. Anyone found to be imprinted by 104 must submit for unimprinting. Failure to do so within 24 hours of exposure will result in termination. Description. SCP-104 is a sphere, 35.5 centimeters or 14 inches, around and weighing 2.3 kilograms or 5 pounds. The outside is glass and very smooth, coating the sphere in a layer 6 millimeters thick. Under this layer is an extremely intricate design of very thin black and white lines. This inner core is a delicately carved ball of wood, giving slight texture to the line design. The design itself is unimaginably complex and seems to form something of a Rorschach test. as all viewers seem to have a different interpretation. Movement, or a ticking sound from inside the sphere, has been reported, but at this time is unconfirmed. Whenever a human touches 104 in its unimprinted state, it will imprint on the subject. If the imprinted subject moves more than 9 meters from SCP-104 for more than 5 minutes, 104 will appear within 2 meters of the imprinted subject. This shift appears instantaneous, disappearing and reappearing in less than a nanosecond, regardless of distance or intervening objects. Every hour that the subject remains within 9 meters of 104, it will move 1 foot closer to the subject until it is touching the subject. When 104 is touching its imprinted subject, it will not attempt to move closer. 104 will not exhibit this behavior to non-imprinted subjects and will only imprint on one subject at a time. Thick cloth or metal appears to block the imprinting in most cases. Testing of 104 with multiple instances of SCP-1680 suggests this imprinting is not genetically based, as SCP-104 does not change behaviors when faced with multiple genetically identical subjects.
Okay.
SCP-104 also appears to be indestructible, in that it always appears whole and undamaged after reappearing. Even after being crushed and incinerated, SCP-104 will reappear whole and undamaged if its imprinted subject is outside of its minimum range for more than 5 minutes. SCP-104 causes paranoia and anger in most subjects, but this is not an effect of the sphere, as some wholly unaffected by the constant presence of 104, if slightly annoyed at times. SCP-104 can only be unimprinted if the subject is killed or enters a near-death-like state. SCP-104 will then enter its unimprinted state until touched. Thick gloves appear to block the imprinting process, as long as they are more than 13 millimeters thick. SCP-104 was recovered in a flea market from a man carrying it in a bowling bag. The man never identified himself and sold it to Agent Blank for a quarter, thanking him profusely before running off.
Can
Notes
you
104
imagine selling this thing and then handing it off to people, and then it teleports back to you 5 minutes later so you can sell it again? Wait, so it can only imprint on one person at a time, and other people don't get imprinted upon, right?
Yes.
Okay, so was that man the creator then, presumably? Because I mean, maybe he just never. Yeah, he was carrying it in a bowling bag, so he just wasn't touching it. Got it.
But did he never touch it?
Yeah.
Anyways, notes 104-1108-R. It has been theorized that SCP-104 is some form of extra-dimensional probe or recording device. This appears to be unlikely, as it appears to be made of terrestrial materials and has no means by which to record or observe anything. However, with few other explanations for its odd behavior, the theory is being investigated. Dr. Blank.
I mean, we're not sure that it's not doing that. It might be. Alright. Alright. I'll take this one. The bowling ball that teleports to you and may make you angry. What a weird SCP. Item number SCP-105. Object class safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-105 is implanted with a tracking device and is currently housed at Site-17. SCP-105 is currently allowed Class 3 restricted socialization privileges with... Is this Iris? I think this is Iris. Okay. With approved site personnel granted based on continued good behavior and cooperation with Foundation personnel. SCP-105's personal camera, designated SCP-105/B, is contained in a locked safe deposit box at Site 19's high-value item storage facility. Standard positive action defenses, explosive, chemical, biological, and mimetic, are to be in place at all times while SCP-105-B is within containment. SCP-105 and SCP-105-B or any other camera are to be only allowed to come in contact with approval of the current managing researcher. Description: SCP-105, formerly known as Iris Thompson, is a female human of European descent. Records indicate that SCP-105 was born in redacted, making her redacted years old at the time of acquisition. She has blonde hair and blue eyes, and at the time of this article is 1.5 meters in height and 50 kilograms in weight. She does not appear to have any out-of-the-ordinary physical characteristics and appears to be, for all intents and purposes, a normal human being in good health. SCP-105-B is a Polaroid one-step express camera manufactured in 1982. SCP-105-B does not appear to have any out-of-the-ordinary physical characteristics and appears to be, for all intents and purposes, a normal Polaroid camera, operating normally for all persons aside from SCP-105. When SCP-105 holds a photograph taken by SCP-105-B, the photograph changes from a still image to that of a real-time image of the location in question. SCP-105 is also able to reach through the photograph and manipulate objects within reach of the original point at which the photograph was taken. Persons witnessing this manipulation report seeing a disembodied female hand determined to be that of SCP-105, reaching out from an invisible portal and carrying out the actions indicated. SCP-105-B and the photographs taken by said camera have no unusual properties when used by any other person. SCP-105 has demonstrated limited ability to manipulate objects through other photographs, but can only achieve fine control using photographs taken through SCP-105-B. So far, SCP-105 has only been able to significantly advance her ability by using photographs taken by SCP-105-B. Did I already read that, or am I just getting flashbacks from the last sentence? I don't think so. Appendix 1. Circumstances of acquisition. SCP-105 was brought to the Foundation's attention shortly after the murder of her boyfriend. SCP-105 claimed to have been on the phone with the victim at the time of his murder, prompting her to hurry to his side. However, telephone records did not correspond to her story, making her suspect in the murder. SCP-105 informed her lawyer that she had, in fact, witnessed the murder through a photograph she had taken with her boyfriend several days prior. The attorney in question disregarded the story and recommended that the subject plead guilty. Subject refused to do so and subsequently told her story in court, offering to demonstrate her ability. This led to Foundation contact. Subject was immediately contained by the Foundation. Foundation personnel retrieved SCP-105-B from SCP-105's home, replacing it with an identical model, and returned it to her. SCP-105's parents were informed that she was killed during the botched escape of another patient while both were in custody of the redacted psychiatric care facility. That sucks.
Hold on. Just a moment. Question about the previous one.
The bowling ball?
The bowling ball. So they said that if you become imprinted, you have to, within a certain amount of time, report for unimprinting.
Yeah. But
it later says the only thing that removes the thing is either death or a near-death experience.
So they just have to put them near death to, like, unimprint it?
Do you think, okay, which do you think is more likely? They have a machine specifically built to specifically bring someone to a state of quote-unquote near death? Or do you think they just take them out back?
No, you know the ball return system at a bowling alley? They have one of those hooked up, but it's set to go at head level, approximately. And also there's no, like, stopgap at the end.
I like to imagine that the outcome is determined by value of the imprinted subject.
Yeah, if they don't like you, they take you out back.
Oh, you're just like a level 1 researcher? Not really worth the researches, man. Sorry.
Man, you know, I don't know if I don't know if I want to have to go power up the
too
pneumatic
much.
bowling ball launcher. I think I'm just gonna use this gun I have at my hip.
So anyway, what do you
Felix,
think would be the least painful way to die, unrelated?
Felix,
On a
Felix,
completely unrelated note, do you have a preference of how you die? Worst ways to die? Anyone in your will?
Felix, you've played Satisfactory, right?
Yeah.
You know the handheld rebar launcher?
Oh, I thought you were going to say the tier 6 conveyor.
God, fucking love the rebar launcher.
I'm going to jump headfirst into a tier 6 conveyor. Or is it tier 5?
Tier 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Who wants to
They
pick
just have
who?
you. They just have you kneel down behind the shed and then pull out the old handheld rebar launcher.
I'm just at a DM in a group chat real quick. At Lauren, at Erica. We need a woman
Wrong.
to play a character on SCP reading. Are
Wrong.
either of you available? Cool. Neither of them are going to be. I just wanted to send the message anyway.
Anyway, I'm gonna start reading. Who's who?
For now, I'll take SCP-105. You can be Doctor.
Okay. Please give a brief personal introduction, including date and place of birth and your name.
Okay, my name is Iris Thompson. I was born in Phoenix, Arizona on May 12th, redacted.
Good. First question. When did you become aware of your abilities?
I'm not sure, but I think I was either 10 or 11. I remember because I was looking at a picture of the ocean and I noticed that the waves began moving.
How did your parents respond when you told them?
They just said that I had an overactive imagination.
Okay, pause a moment. I feel as though we've read this on stream before. Am I going insane?
I believe you are.
Hmm.
Deja vu, you know.
Anyways. When did you discover that you were able to manipulate objects through a photograph?
It first happened when I was 11, 12 maybe. My family took a trip to the Grand Canyon. I looked through the photo album after we got home and brushed my hand up against one by accident. When I did, I pushed a rock over the edge, falling into the canyon. Could actually hear it clatter on the way down.
Go on.
I became fascinated with photography after that. Most of the time it didn't work with photographs I took, but my parents got me a Polaroid One-Step Express camera. I've been begging for them to get it since Christmas. SCP-105 starts smiling. After I got the camera, the photos got easier to interact with.
This is the camera referred to as 105B, your personal camera.
Yes, sir.
What is your impression of your time with the Foundation so far?
Fuck. I zoomed
Oh,
too far
fuck.
the first time.
My apologies.
It's fine.
How many photos can you focus on at one time?
I've gotten up to 10 at once with my personal camera, but I'm sure I could do more eventually.
What is your impression of your time with the Foundation so far? Please do answer. We don't take offense at these things.
It's sort of like new prison, new warden, but I know it's better than what could have happened to me.
You've been very cooperative during your time here.
I'm a pretty well-behaved sort of person. I also like doing the experiments. Some of those things with photographs I could have never imagined.
Do you know why I'm asking you these questions, Iris?
No, sir.
We've been setting up a special program. It goes through, you'll be occasionally allowed to leave the site and move about in the outside world. All we ask of you in return are a few favors. Are you interested?
This was all my article, right? Okay. Just kind of forgot. Yeah. Addendum 3. History of service with the Mobile Task Force Omega-7. SCP-105 was the second humanoid SCP recruited to Mobile Task Force Omega-7 under the Pandora's Box Initiative. Unlike Team Able, associated with SCP-76-2, which was assigned to strike and capture operations, Team Iris had the primary mission of reconnaissance and intelligence gathering. Team Iris carried out over 20 missions in cooperation with the Bao Commission. These missions were carried out swiftly and without incident. The first disciplinary incident involving SCP-105 involved the escalation of Team Iris missions from reconnaissance to wet work. What the fuck is wet work?
Murder.
Oh.
Listen, I'm gonna hand you this gun and this photograph. I want you to point the gun at the photograph.
Here's the target. Eliminate him while you have the chance.
SCP-105 violently opposed the use of her abilities to carry out assassinations, even after members of the Bao Commission repeatedly attempted to secure her cooperation. See interview log 105-21. During these events, SCP-105 became emotionally distressed and attempted to deceive Foundation personnel into believing that her anomalous traits had disappeared. Dr. Redacted submitted a report recommending that SCP-105 be reclassified as neutralized, undergo amnestic treatment, and be released to the public with regular monitoring. This recommendation was denied. That's bizarre that they jumped to that, I'll be honest. Like, they weren't just immediately like, yeah, no, you're lying. Very convenient you don't want to do something and suddenly your anomalous ability just dematerializes. That's bizarre.
I mean, they also have no way of gauging whether or not it's, true or not.
Following this, Dr. Redacted aided SCP-105 in a containment breach aiming to escape Foundation custody. This breach was unsuccessful and SCP-105 was recontained. See Incident X-45. One moment. Investigation afterwards determined that Dr. Redacted had intentionally encouraged SCP-105 to claim loss of anomalous abilities. SCP-105 redemonstrated her anomalous abilities in exchange for restoration of limited privileges. Following the end of the Pandora's Box initiative, all Mobile Task Force Omega-7 members were disbanded, and SCP-105 was returned to Site-17. Because of the security risk she presents and lack of current utility, SCP-105 is presently not allowed access to SCP-105-B. All further information regarding Mobile Task Force Omega-7 is sealed by the Order of Records and Information Administration. Director Redacted, Records and Information Security Administration. Addendum 4, Special Notice, Current Containment Status. Following incidents at Site-17, many formal and informal reports have been made regarding SCP-105 and a supposed connection to Mobile Task Force Alpha-9. These reports constitute a serious breach of security. All information regarding Mobile Task Force Alpha-9 is restricted. All information regarding current research on anomalous characteristics of SCP-105 is restricted. All reports or rumors regarding any current or recent use of SCP-105 as a Foundation asset are to be considered categorically false, and should be reported to the Records and Information Security Administration. Director Redacted, Records and Information Security Administration. Sweep it under the rug, forget about it.
What's the incident?
Sweep it under the rug and forget about it.
That is
Okay,
true.
Question.
But yeah.
Say, like...
Not reading that.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
If she's reaching through a photograph, can her limb be damaged?
Presumably.
Presumably.
Why?
Listen, it's the thing. It's the piece of paper from Part 4. You know the one.
It's Robin.
Like, say that. Say SCP associate guy hands her a photograph. She reaches her arm through, and just outside of the photograph frame, they've set up a guillotine.
God, I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to test that, but she probably wouldn't have been happy with it. Something neat about this article is there is a light novel based off of Iris called Iris Through the Looking Glass, and I actually own the physical copy of, like, the first chapter of it. Or not first chapter, like, first part, whatever you want to call it. That is not what I meant to do. Get away from here. Oh well, I think we do read this one.
And let me just put this in VC text.
Hold on, what are you putting in VC text?
I got almost.
Alright. I'll read this too. There were explosions on site. It wasn't entirely unheard of, but these didn't seem controlled. Also not unheard of, but it still made Iris nervous.
Yes.
Hold on. The door to her cell opened, and an agent stood there. He was younger, with Mexican features, and she didn't recognize him. 105, get up. We need to move you. She could tell he was new. Most of Site-17 personnel were used to calling her real name. Outside of official documentation, the shrinks thought it would be helpful in keeping her emotionally stable. You had to laugh. Should I take anything? She asked as she got up from her seat. No time. We'll send someone for it later. He motioned to her to hurry. She walked to the door. She was long past the time where she resisted or tried to escape. Where would she go? She'd probably just end up somewhere worse. He led her into the hallway and didn't bother to re-secure the door. She realized then that things were extremely wrong, rather than the baseline of very wrong she'd grown accustomed to. He hesitated a moment, then said it this way. She almost offered to guide him, but he probably wasn't prepared for a skip to show that kind of initiative. There were gunshots nearby. Stay behind me, the agent pulled out his sidearm. There were dead bodies in the next hallway. 2 were site security. A third wore an unfamiliar black uniform. As the agent walked through the next door, there was a gunshot, and the back of his head blossomed outward. Iris crouched in the frame of another door, pressed as hard as she could into the shallow alcove. She listened as someone walked up to the door. She held her breath and waited to see if they'd walk in or lean far enough in to see her. After a moment, she heard them turn and walk away. She stood still a moment longer, and then quietly reached down and picked up the dead agent's sidearm. This broke any number of rules, but one rule was to avoid dying in a senseless firefight, and you had to prioritize in these situations. She took a different hallway. Hopefully she'd run into someone who could help her. Hopefully they wouldn't shoot her. That would be nice. There were containment rooms, but she avoided those. You never knew what was in there, and anyway, that was probably what the guys in black suits were after, unless they were really interested in Dr. Jones' paperclip collection. In the next hallway, the containment chamber had been opened, and the door torn off its hinges. There were several black-clad bodies on the floor. Standing above them, tearing the flesh off a humorous, was an ogre, 8 feet tall with a bulbous nose, pointed head, and sharpened teeth. He smiled wickedly from around his meal. Ah, ma chère, you joined the party? She tightened her grip on the sidearm and forced herself to remain calm. Fernand, will you take... Fuck, God, I don't want to read French.
I can.
No, it's fine. Will you take a quick picnic with me? He asked. I am having my morning exercise. No, thank you, she said. She began to walk past him. Not fast, not running. Predators chase things that run. As you like. Perhaps we meet again later, eh? A little rendezvous, très romantique. He chortled around his clenched teeth. Iris suppressed a small shudder. Still bad as Vernon was, he couldn't hold a candle to him. As she entered the next doorway, she saw the shape of a cow, but completely, utterly black. The area around it appeared slightly disordered, as though it were doing something with the light. It started moving towards Iris, who immediately turned tail. She'd take her chances with the men in black. At least she knew what the bullets did. She heard it picking up speed, and she turned a corner, slipped through a door, and closed it. As she leaned against the door and caught her breath, she heard the staccato call of gunfire. She dropped to the floor, counted to 3, cursed the cow thing silently, and then looked up. There were 5 of the black-clad men firing down the hallway, perhaps 10 feet away, using an overturned desk as makeshift cover. She couldn't tell what they were shooting at from her position, but the bullets flying overhead suggested site security wasn't quite out of the fight yet. However, there wasn't too much gunfire coming from that direction, compared to the amount of lead the black suits were throwing down the hallway. It seemed like the Foundation was outnumbered, at least in this hallway. She considered her options. She could wait and hope the Foundation would send reinforcements, but that seemed chancy. Whoever this was, they were organized, and probably had a good evacuation strategy planned. Once they realized she was there, she could try playing dead, but even a dead skip could be a useful skip, and they'd figure out she was pretending pretty quickly. She considered it unlikely whoever it was would treat her as well as the Foundation. Only one option, then. She took a knee, carefully took aim, and shot the closest man in the back of the head. Then the next one. and then the one after him. It was easy. That was what she hated about it, how easy it was. There was a click, and the gun refused to fire. Without even thinking, she went back to her immediate actions. She slammed the magazine with the heel of her left hand and then slid the rack back and bullet flew out. The other two were starting to realize there was a problem, so she shot the fourth. The fifth almost had her, but then gunfire from further back took him down. It was only as he fell to the ground she started to feel again, and the gorge rose in her throat. "It's me," she called. "SB-105. They're dead." She dropped the gun, kicked it forward, and then knelt down with her hands on the back of her head until the agents got her and took her to safety. "You need to see this, ma'am." The man was nervous, but he was always nervous, like a small dog, really. "What is it?" she asked. She was still a bit tired. It'd been a long night before. It usually was. But the last time he told her she needed to do something, there was an active attempt on her life. She was good at picking up on things like that. Footage from the latest containment breach. "I think you should pay special attention here." He jumped to a point on the tapes to show a young woman. "Yes?" she said. Then, "Yes, I see." She thought for a moment. "Yes, good work, Henry. You were right. I did need to see this." She opened a very special program on her phone. We all need to see this, I think.
This felt like fan fiction.
Yeah. It was, I would say, relevant, though, to the actual SCP at least, which is better than some of these
Yes.
we've read.
I mean, from what I gather, it was just a raid from the GOC, presumably.
Yeah.
You know, good old Gawk raid to get the blood flowing.
Good God, great.
Yes, that was in fact the joke.
Oh, no. All right. It's your boy.
Yeah.
What? Hold on. Before we even get started, what?
The fuck are these?
Huh.
Oh, well. All right, try again. Oh, well.
Is that a descending thing? If you
Oh,
click it,
well.
does it extend outwards?
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
it does.
Okay.
Oh.
Do we read all of them, or do we just like kind of pick the latest one? Okay, these are like.
I'm here to read an article, and by God, I'm gonna read an article.
There's a lot of
Jeez.
red. There's a lot of red.
Mm.
All right, sure. Here you go.
Before we start, I'll be right back.
Fuck. I did really like Iris. I
Hey.
like her character a lot. She's cool.
Iris reaching through a photograph to touch someone with a bowling ball on a stick.
Iris just becomes the new Dr. Bright and starts fucking with people.
Check this out.
I can just see Dr. Bright taking a picture of like some like birthday party or something, and then just like sticking a chainsaw through the picture so a chainsaw just manifests in the air somewhere and just scares the shit out of people.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
Go whenever.
All right. That's Pretty decent picture, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Alright. Item number SCP-106. Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. No physical interaction with SCP-106 is allowed at any time. All physical interaction must be approved by no less than 2/3 vote from O5 Command, and may only extend to testing situations. All staff, research, security, Class D, etc., are to remain at least 20 meters away from the containment cell at all times, except for mandated maintenance and reevaluation checks. Containment cell must be held suspended in a secondary cell, the walls of which must be at least 30 meters distant from the outer walls of the first or primary cell. The secondary cell is to remain under total observation at all times and be both illuminated and clear of any and all debris. Any items, movement, or non-normal activity noted within the secondary cell will result in a full site lockdown. Lockdown will be maintained until a situation normal dispatch is issued by Site Command. Any corrosion observed on the primary cell, secondary cell, staff members, or any site locations within 200 meters of SCP-106 are to be reported to site security immediately. Any objects or personnel lost to SCP-106 are to be deemed missing/KIA. No recovery attempts are to be made under any circumstances. Note: SCP-106 does not have a docile state. Any reduction in activity or increased compliance from SCP-106 is to be deemed a luring tactic, immediately preceding an aggressive action, and treated as such. Note: SCP discontinued due to escape percentage. Wow. All
Yep.
right, let's see what Take Two has for us. If you would re-expand revision 11.7.
Oh, my bad. I thought that one was. Yeah, that's my bad.
No, it's fine. No physical interaction with the SCP-106 is allowed at any time. All physical interactions must be approved by no less than 2/3 vote from O5 Command and may only extend to testing situations. All staff are to remain at least 30 meters from the containment cell, except under direct command of Site Command. Okay, yeah, that's about the same. SCP-106 is to be kept within a sealed container comprised of 16 layers of lead-lined steel, each separated by no less than 18 centimeters of open space, aside from minimal support struts. Said container is to be kept suspended by a continuous current system within a fluid medium. This medium is to be replaced in 48-hour cycles and constantly monitored for any corrosion intrusion. Any corrosion observed on any containment cell surfaces, staff members, or other site locations within 200 meters of SCP-106 are to be reported to site security immediately. Any objects or personnel lost to SCP-106 are to be deemed missing/KIA. No recovery attempts are to be made. SCP-106 does not have a docile state. That's been read already. Note: observation of SCP-106 has shown a slight resistance when passing through lead or similar metals. The thickness of the material appears to make no difference. In addition, multiple layers of thin material appear to slow SCP-106, forcing it to enter and re-emerge multiple times. Fluids also appear to temporarily confuse SCP-106. Note: SCP discontinued due to multiple service breaches. Agitation system continued to disperse corrosion during breach event, resulting in multiple breaches and full containment failure. Ooh. Alright. No physical interaction is allowed at any time. Any physical interaction must be approved by no less than 2/3 vote of O5 Command, yada yada. Any such interaction must be undertaken in AR2 maximum security sites under a general non-essential staff evacuation. Oh, good. All staff are to remain at least 60 meters away, except in the event of breach events. Well, yeah, thanks. SCP-106 is to be contained in a sealed container comprised of lead-lined steel. The container will be sealed within 40 layers of identical material, each layer separated by no less than 36 centimeters of empty space. Support struts between layers are to be randomly spaced. Container is to remain suspended no less than 60 meters from any surface by ELO-IID electromagnetic supports. Secondary containment area is to be comprised of 16 spherical cells, each filled with various fluids and a random assembly of surfaces and supports. Secondary containment is to be fitted with light systems capable of flooding the entire assembly with no less than 80,000 lumens of light instantly with no direct human involvement. Both containment areas are to remain under 24-hour surveillance. Any corrosion detected on any containment cell surfaces, staff members, or other site locations within 200 meters of SCP-106 are to be reported to site security immediately. Any objects or personnel lost to SCP-106 are to be deemed missing in KIA, and no recovery attempts are to be made. Note: continued research and observation has shown that, when faced with highly complex / random assemblies of structures, SCP-106 can be confused, showing a marked delay on entry and exit from said surface. SCP-106 has also shown an aversion to direct, sudden light. This is not manifested in any form of physical damage, but a rapid exit into the pocket dimension generated on solid surfaces. These observations, along with those of light aversion and liquid confusion, have reduced the general escape incidence by 43%. The primary cells have also been effective in recovery incidents requiring recall protocol redacted. Observation is ongoing. Okay.
Oh.
Description: SCP-106 appears to be an elderly humanoid with a general appearance of advanced decomposition. This appearance may vary, but the rotting quality is observed in all forms. SCP-106 is not only exceptionally agile and will remain motionless for days at a time, waiting for prey. Oh, sorry, I misread that. SCP-106 is not exceptionally agile and will remain motionless for days at a time, waiting for prey. 106 is also capable of scaling any vertical surface and can remain suspended upside down indefinitely. When attacking, SCP-106 will attempt to incapacitate prey by damaging major organs, muscle groups, or tendons, then pull disabled prey into its pocket dimension. SCP-106 appears to prefer human prey items in the 10 to 25 years of age bracket. SCP-106 causes a corrosion effect in all solid matter it touches, engaging a physical breakdown in materials several seconds after contact. This is observed as rusting, rotting, and cracking of materials, and the creation of a black mucus-like substance similar to the material coating SCP-106. This effect is particularly detrimental to living tissues and is assumed to be a pre-digestion action. Corrosion continues for 6 hours after contact, after which the effect appears to burn out.
Hold on, let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, this
Yes, Corporal Lawrence.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we can do that one after, maybe.
That's just really long.
Yeah, but I'm reading it, so why do you care?
Yeah, I guess.
It's up to you. SCP-106 is capable of passing through solid matter, leaving behind a large patch of its corrosive mucus. SCP-106 is able to vanish inside solid matter, entering what is assumed to be a form of pocket dimension. SCP-106 is then able to exit this dimension from any point connected to the initial entry point, example, entering the inner wall of a room and exiting the outer wall, entering a room and exiting from the ceiling. It is unknown if this is the point of origin for SCP-106 or simply a layer created by SCP-106. Limited observation of this pocket dimension has shown it to be comprised mostly of halls and rooms with data expunged entry. This activity can continue for days, with some subjected individuals being released for the express purpose of hunting, recapture, data expunged. Addendum: SCP Review Note. Due to the exceedingly difficult to contain nature of SCP-106, SCP is to be reviewed every 3 months or during a post-breach incident. Physical restraints are impossible, and direct physical damage appears to have no effect on SCP-106. Current SCP, as of redacted, revolves around basic observation and immediate response. Previous, more proactive special containment procedures have been recalled due to the events of breaches redacted, and, get this, redacted. Notes on behavior. SCP-106 appears to go through long periods of dormancy, in which it will remain completely motionless for up to 3 months. The cause for this is unknown. However, it has been shown that this appears to be used as a lulling tactic. SCP-106 will emerge from this state in a very agitated state and will attack and abduct staff, causing gross damage to its containment cell and the site at large. Recall protocol redacted. SCP-106 appears to hunt and attack based on desire, not hunger. SCP-106 will attack and collect multiple prey items during a hunting behavior event, keeping many alive in the pocket dimension for extended periods of time. SCP-106 has no determinable limit and appears to collect a random number of prey items during the event. The inner dimension accessed by SCP-106 appears to be only accessible by SCP-106. Recording and transmission devices have been shown to still operate inside this dimension, though recordings and transmissions are very degraded. It appears that SCP-106 will play with captured prey and appears to have full control of time, space, and perception inside this dimension. SCP-106 appears data expunged. Oh, red this time. Recall protocol redacted. In the event of a breach event by SCP-106, a human within the 10 to 25 years of age bracket will be prepped for recall, with the compromised containment cell being replaced and restored for later use. When the cell is ready, the lure subject will be injured, preferably via the breakage of a long bone, such as the femur, or the severing of a major tendon, such as the Achilles tendon. Lure subject will then be placed in the prep cell, and the sound emitted by said subject will be transmitted over the site public address system. SCP-106 will typically begin to gravitate towards the lure subject within 10 to 15 minutes after hearing a subject. So should SCP-106 not respond to the initial broadcast, additional physical trauma is to be administered to the lure subject at 20-minute intervals until SCP-106 responds. Multiple lure subjects may be used in the case of major containment events. SCP-106 will typically enter a dormant state after finishing with the lure subject. In addition, subjects may redacted. Mods, put him in the fever breaker.
Me when
Fever breaker. You're next.
me when
All right, let's see what the other two red texts.
oh, that's the wrong button.
Once but not now. Oh god. Okay. And until death. Okay, what are these? Oh god.
I'm particularly of the note that we can skip these. If there are any in particular you do want to read, I suppose that's fine. This is your article.
I would say if we're reading any of these, it would be the young man, but I'm fine with
from
skipping
what I
these.
remember, all that really even matters from Young Man is it's him when he was still in the war, and that he was kind of quiet and
it's for flavor,
standoffish.
Helix. I understand it's not vital information.
Yeah.
Listen, this is all real cool. It is a bitch to read all of that out loud.
Yeah, this is like a
And this is coming from me who enjoyed the fucking pipes.
The pipes were good.
The Pipeworks one was really
good.
cool. I liked it a lot.
The pipes too.
And it was probably the best performance I'll ever have on this. But
yeah.
That being said, I don't know if I can do 4 of the pipes back to back.
It wasn't even like this is different than the pipes. The pipes is more of an exploratory log of them checking out the SCP.
I don't know. I mean, Treats seems to be somewhat in that vein so far.
Maybe.
It's like I'm more so referring to like quantity of words and it being less formal in presentation. Yeah, no, like I think they're cool. I would probably just want to read those like on my own.
Yeah.
Simply for the sake of preserving my voice for the rest of stream. However long that'll
be going on.
This
is like another hour on this one SCP is what all 4 of these are.
Yep.
Like, again, all I really remembered about the young man that actually mattered in pertaining to this guy is it's his lore. This is where he came from. It was him when he was still young and in the war, and he was kind of quiet and standoffish, but really enjoyed killing people. That is all I remember from, like, all of this.
So the most favorite of soldiers, then, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, no, we'll skip these, I think. Just for the sake of, dear God, that's a lot of...
Yeah.
That's a lot of words. Too bad I'm not reading them. How fitting with the music.
I saw the words human urine in here somewhere.
Well, you know what Control F is.
Alright, this one's me then. And I asked Ridge wants another one. Ridge?
Read the piss SCP, Helix.
No!
Unless you want to, Ridge.
Just taking over you real quick.
This one is a bit longer.
Yeah, sure, fine. Give me a sec.
Oh. Oh no, he's turned into a baby.
Item number SCP-107, object class safe.
Please don't read that whole fucking article like this, I'm begging you.
I like how every single time Ridge reads, we have to be like, please this time let this be a normal article, please. And then he starts reading
the
it in
Ridge?
some
No
fuck-ass
way.
voice, and we're like, ah.
With the Ridge? No way. Anyways.
SCP-107 poses no immediate threat so long as it does not come into contact with any liquid. As such, it is stored at Site 19 in 5 Tupperware containers.
Shit ain't never getting out.
On a 1 meter high pedestal inside a clear Tupperware container. Experimentation with SCP-107 is to be carried out at Research Area 06 in a 484 kilometers squared area of desolate land and blank, dedicated to this purpose. Anyone who attempts to activate SCP-107 outside of an approved experiment must be eliminated with any force necessary. Me about to drop a hydrogen bomb.
Oh, I'm gonna dry it out real fucking fast, don't you worry.
Access to and removal of the object requires the authorization of 2 Level 4 personnel and the approval by said personnel of a full experimental procedure. Should 107 become active while within Site 19, 2 Class D personnel are to remove it from the site via one of the item transport trucks in Loading Bay -02. This procedure must be followed regardless of the substance that activated 107, given the unpredictable nature of the item's effect on plant matter. 107 should only be returned once precipitation has ceased completely and any abnormal plant growth has been neutralized or contained for further study.
I like how it's all of this stuff, like, oh yeah, it requires the authorization of 2 level 4 personnel. Eliminate with any force necessary. Object class, safe. Don't worry about
it's
it.
Fine.
It's fine.
Description. 107 resembles the top section of a hollow turtle shell. The shell is composed of a hardened biological material of unknown origin. Despite its appearance, whether this material is derived from the shell of a standard sea turtle, superfamily Chelonidae, is yet unknown. The item is completely inert until the inside of the turtle shell comes into contact with a liquid. When it does so, said liquid appears to be absorbed very quickly. Where the liquid drains to is unknown, given the lack of visible pores on the inside of the shell. Once active, the red edge of the shell glows dimly, and the substance placed into the shell begins to precipitate in the atmosphere and fall as rain in the area at least half a meter, but less than 10 kilometers from the object. This phenomenon is mobile. Moving with SCP-107 will move the area of effect along with the exclusion zone. The duration and intensity appears proportional to the amount of liquid placed in the shell. 10 milliliters of water results in just under half an hour of light drizzle, whereas filling to around the 3/4 mark set off 2 days of torrential rain. Precipitation generated by SCP-107 has varying effects on plant matter, although these effects are only seen in plants grown within the effect zone. Watering other plants with collected liquid causes no abnormal reaction. See Experimental Log Addendum 107-2. Addendum 107-1. SCP-107 was discovered by an archaeologist, Professor M, in what is now Ethiopia, buried alongside what appeared to be a tribal shaman. Carbon dating performed on the shaman's bones gave an age of around 18,000 BCE. SCP-107 proved resistant to all attempts to obtain a sample, and therefore no concrete origin date can be determined. The Foundation became involved after intercepting reports of strange weather events at the dig, accompanied by unusual plant growth. Addendum 107-2. Below is a log of all tests carried out with 107. Agents with ideas for sensible future testing protocols should contact me. Feel free to test reasonably safe liquids with 107 and log your findings here. Please note that you will be responsible for anything that results from the test. We need all the data we can get on this oddity. More tests with liquid-based SCPs may have research value, but most are simply too dangerous to carry out, at least with current containment procedures. Tests involving SCP-107 and 009, 447-2, and 874 have been proposed, but were rejected on the grounds that the results have the potential to be dangerous and or highly unstable. Dr. Quentin. What's 009 again?
I think that was the red ice? Or is that just the living water? That's the red ice.
Yeah.
I wasn't here for this one. What does that do?
It's like ice at room temperature, but when it's warmed up, it kind of corrupts people and turns them into ice or some shit. I don't fucking
Oh,
remember.
okay. So probably not something that you want falling as rain. I gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, testing log.
Alright, these are going to be input and then result. Input,
Yeah.
10 milliliters of standard tap water. Result, light rain fell over the test site for 27 minutes. Tests on the water showed that it had no unusual properties. For at least 2 weeks after the test, grass at the test site was seen to grow at a much increased rate, and the resulting plants were a richer green in color than those unaffected by the rain. Further procedure. A sample of the rain was collected and used to water various other plants outside of the test site. Result, no effect was observed. Input, 55 milliliters standard tap water. Result, torrential rainfall over test site for 2 days and an effect on the grass similar to that of the first test. Fruit-bearing plants grown in the soil at the test site grew very quickly and bore much larger fruit than control plants. Effect had diminished considerably after 3 months. Input, 4 cubic centimeter block of wood. Result, no. Input, 20 steel ball bearings of radius 2 millimeters. Result, no.
Absolutely
Input.
not.
Input, 10 milliliters piss. Urine rained on the test site for 27 minutes with moderate intensity. Grass at the test site began to die. Any other plant species moved to the test site and began to grow stunted, passive pitcher insect traps incapable of actually digesting insect matter.
Oh,
Subsequent input, double piss. Result, urine rained on the test site for 3 hours 42 minutes with slightly greater intensity. Non-grass plants grew larger, stronger pitcher traps capable of digesting small rodents.
Oh god, the piss pitchers.
Oh god.
uh,
Input, blood. Extracted from a class D. You don't care who. Result, a substance proven afterwards to be human blood with the same genetic makeup as the donating subject fell on the test site for 27 minutes. Grass at the test site appeared to die on contact and began rotting within minutes. Any non-grass plants planted in the resulting soil began to mutate and grow large, greater than 20 centimeters across, carnivorous organs similar to those of the Venus flytrap. When approached by a D-class personnel, the plants were seen to murder them. These organisms began to grow back after 2 weeks. further testing with bodily fluids is considered unwise.
Come on, try it with
I-
spinal fluid, please.
The end-all be-all of human anatomic
You want to know
fluids.
something I realized?
Mm-hmm.
This SCP combined with the fucking coffee machine is crazy. Since you can ask for pretty much anything in liquid form and have that drain.
Can I get a cup of liquid dye?
Yeah, like
Can I get a cup of Joe? I want to see just how horrid the. Oh God, no! I'm gonna create another flush that hates patch. Ugh, never mind.
yeah. Like what I'm thinking of is there was this guy who ordered the best drink ever made, which that was so euphoric that he kind of like shitted and died or some shit. No, I don't think it was that he shitted and died. He drank it and then like nothing felt as good as that after that, and so he eventually just committed suicide because
Thanks, Flowers
no-
Rose,
nothing
John.
matches the best drink ever made. And I'm like, what if they poured that into this?
Are they creating another fucking Garden of Eden at that
That's
point?
what I'm thinking.
Like ash in my mouth, but damn, is it filling.
Yep.
Input 10 milliliters of water with 5 grams steel ball bearings. Result: water was absorbed by 107, and this standard reaction was observed in plant matter. Ball bearings are in fact still there. We've just kind of left them in there for all subsequent tests. Input: glow. Result: all glue was absorbed by 107, and partially cured cyanoacrylate fell on the test site for 18 minutes. It is likely that the reduced duration of effect was due to curing of the adhesive whilst inside 107. Plant matter grew sticky coating later identified as cyanoacrylate derivative. Coating was very effective at trapping insects and preventing them from damaging plants.
Interesting.
Input: Sunny D. Result: standard precipitation patterns. Fruit-bearing plants moved to the testing site began to grow an unknown citrus fruit, irrespective of plant species and despite the cold conditions. No ill effects were observed from consumption of fruit. What do you mean you ate it? Samples have been taken for further testing.
Why wouldn't I? That would be wasteful if they didn't.
Input: spit. Result: substance layer proven to be spit fell on the test site for 8 minutes. Non-grass plants moved to the test site grew small spherical sacs along stems or thin branches. When the plant was approached by the test subject, the sacs exploded and spit at him. Subject reported no illness or injury. Augmented plants began to die within 3 days. Input: 10 milliliters of nearly 100% isotopically pure heavy water. Result: standard rain, but the mass spectrometry of samples revealed a deuterium abundance of 154 parts per million, which is standard for natural water.
What?
What?
I don't understand what any of that means.
Shame.
Yeah,
Looks like someone didn't pass high school chemistry.
you're right.
Input: 5 milliliters of mercury. Result: it spit it back out.
It didn't like it. Tasted icky.
Absolutely not. Go fuck yourself.
No wanna.
Man, what do you mean skeletal? I guess, yeah, never mind. That makes sense, actually. It's like a shell, so.
Skippleton.
But there's so much they could do with this.
Oh yeah.
Backrooms?
Go back. Go Alright, good talk.
What?
Alright, good talk.
Oh, okay. Honestly, little disappointed in the last test for it not being creative enough.
No final fluids will be authorized.
Like they didn't even try seawater.
You know, That is actually a good point.
Yeah, like they were like, yeah, there's like water, more water,
I'm
waterer,
surprised they didn't try
spit,
like.
blood, piss. Um, what
I'm
other
surprised they
liquids
didn't try
exist?
like ice, like cubes of ice, regular ones.
Pour
I
in
know
the
it
liquid
doesn't like,
nitrogen.
because I'm two minds of it. Either it's gonna do nothing until it like slowly melts and then it'll just be like very light precipitation, or it's gonna be hail
Yeah.
and like really bad hail.
What about alcohol?
Oh, well, it's really simple. We're going to flood the plains with molasses.
Do you think it
Molten
cares?
steel.
What do you think happens if mercury didn't work? What do you think happens if we get this thing molasses? Do you think it's like, oh, it's a solid, I can't drink this, and I'm like, wait a minute, maybe it's just gonna take me 17 years.
It very slowly sloths out of the fucking output until it finally reaches the point of, being allowed to separate, and then it just fucking crushes anything beneath it.
Okay. Item number SCP-108. Object class safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-108 is contained entirely by Subject 108-1. Subject 108-1 should be contained in a standard containment cell measuring 3 meters by 3 meters, furnished with whatever items are requested unless said items compromise security. Subject 108-1 is permitted to leave the room, wander freely, and eat in the main canteen. Medical examination is performed daily on Subject 108-1. Filters to be changed as necessary. Description: SCP-108 is accessible through the nostrils of SCP Subject 108-1. I don't know why they switched over to Subject 10. No, that was always Subject 10. Why? Why isn't it SCP Subject or SCP-108-1? Any other article would have it SCP-108-1. Oh well. Subject is an African American female, 51 years old, who was previously employed as a cashier at Redacted, a small town hardware store in Redacted, Kentucky. Since Redacted,
Home
SCP-108 has been
Depot.
housed at Site 17. She worked at Home Depot with you and Classic Native. It makes sense.
Yeah. Real.
Endoscopic examination of SCP-108 reveals that the area is accessible via the subject's nostrils and is not the human nasal cavity, but rather a bunker system of Nazi German construction dedicated to the production and maintenance of World War II era Ridge.
Huh? What?
Can you read that?
Messerschmitt Me 262 fighters.
Exploration via robotic endoscope reveals that the bunker system has internal dimensions of approximately 2 kilometers by 4 kilometers, with the long axis parallel to the main entrance/exit portal. While the exploration is by no means complete, SCP-108 is believed to contain hundreds of airframes under construction on its assembly line, as well as 3 complete aircraft. There is also a large quantity of human remains in the complex, particularly concentrated around the entry/exit portal, with the corpses of Nazi officials, military personnel, Hitler Youth, and civilians, possibly Ukrainian slave workers, in advanced states of decay. What does Hitler Youth mean? Is that just young Hitler, or is it like...
Childsoldier.wmv.
Okay. Evidence of a firefight near the entry/exit portal supports the hypothesis that the German military personnel were swarmed by the civilians and were killed in the ensuing struggle. Some corpses show signs of cannibalism. Robotic endoscopic exploration continues, and high discharge LED lighting, assembled piecemeal using a ship-in-a-bottle technique, has been deployed. Endoscopic examination of the interior of SCP-108 reveals a large hangar door area with a kind of double airlock with blast doors large enough to admit 2 fully assembled fighters. A production line exists which would allow damaged fighters and deliveries to enter on one side of the hangar door and finished fighters to exit on the other side. Turning the endoscope head 180 degrees reveals the open doorway is an area of total blackness with 2 nostril-shaped penetrations in it. One nostril-shaped penetration is connected to whichever nostril is admitting the endoscope, and the other is connected to the interior of a human nasal cavity. DNA testing reveals the nasal cavity belongs to the subject. Wow. I couldn't have guessed.
Listen, man, you gotta be sure it might come out in someone else's nose.
And then that's SCP-2. The blank area is impenetrable and absorbs all wavelengths of light that the endoscope can carry. The blank area is elastic and yielding when probed. Oh. Apparently, the portal system is a unique three-way arrangement. If the outside world is designated A, the interior to the ME-262 factory is B, and the subject's naval cavity is C. Then traffic is as follows. Anything, including gases and light, going from A end up in B. Items from B end up in C. Items going from C end up in A. Presumably in 1944, it was intended that C and A were to be the interior and exterior of a double hangar at Tempelhof based on the architecture of the hangar doors. Addendum 108-1. Subject claims that she was training to perform the human blockhead magic trick in preparation for being a clown at a children's birthday party. After hammering a 4 centimeter long galvanized iron nail into her nasal cavity, she lost her grip on the end and dropped it inside her nose. Immediately, she noticed a god-awful musty stench and experienced nausea and disorientation. Blowing her nose had no discernible effect and left no residue on tissues. She was able to breathe normally through her nose after about 3 days. Subject got used to the hell's asshole smell and performed at the children's party at the delight of her nephew. Approximately a week later, after ignoring numerous complaints about the smell of her breath, subject was diagnosed with pneumonia and placed on course of roxithromycin. Pneumonia responded to antibiotics but reoccurred a week later. Her general practitioner also noted that the nasal examination with an otoscope showed simply blackness rather than the inside of the nose. After admission to the hospital with chronic pneumonia, examination with a 1 meter fiber optic endoscope allowed the endoscope to be threaded in almost the full meter. The attending ENT noted that he appeared to be seeing a Nazi eagle badge through the endoscope. Specialist examination notes were kept in a digital patient management system and intercepted by the Foundation in a routine redacted sweep. The subject was recovered without incident by Task Force Epsilon 9, disguised as high-risk warrant team officers in a pre-dawn raid of June 19 redacted. By the end of cleanup operation, the GPENT 11 hospital personnel and 2 civvies were terminated. The subject was examined by Foundation staff and provided her with an air filtration user which could be passed through her nostrils piecemeal and assembled like a ship in a bottle. The filtration filling must be removed on a regular basis when it gets expended, roughly once a week, as the subject is essentially inhaling the atmosphere of a formerly sealed Nazi mass war grave. Although initially hostile toward the Foundation, the subject has responded well to enhanced psychological conditioning protocols and now accepts her situation. A plan has been proposed in line with the backing up of all critical Foundation data at Site-62 in SCP-108. Data can be written onto micro SD cards or similar compact non-volatile media and inserted into the subject's nostrils, provided some way to house the subject in a safe location is assured in the event of an X-class scenario. Research continues to find a way to move the entrance of the dimensional portal from the subject's nostrils to another location, and to discover the physical location of the bunker to determine if alternative access is possible. The original galvanized iron nail has yet to be found.
Damn it.
I was gonna say, yeah, sure, it's a nice proposition to store all your stuff on the internal hard drive, but like, what are you gonna do when she dies?
Yeah, like she doesn't seem like any more permanent than like a concrete box, like honestly.
I mean, they also do this with like every SCP that they're like, we could store data in this.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like the old computer, you can't do that with, but they did that with Kane, and it seemed to work fine.
Good. This one's pretty small if you'd rather I take it more.
Up to you. I don't care either way.
Alright, I'll snag this one. SCP-109. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-109 is currently located in Non-Critical Storage Unit 7 and requires no active monitoring. It should not be removed from the unit except to be transported to a research facility, and then only by personnel with level 3 security clearance or higher. When replacing SCP-109, personnel should ensure that it is firmly closed and that it is placed on the molded pedestal in the upright position. Description: SCP-109 is a standard issue United States Army canteen circa 1899, made of tin alloy and fitted with a heavy cotton cover and black leather strap. When opened, the item is seen to be nearly full of water. A seemingly unlimited amount of water can be removed from the container without changing the water level or the item's mass, which remains a constant 3.16 kilograms. Probes of the interior of the container reported an estimated volume of 2.8 liters and a shape consistent with the outside. The water in SCP-109 is of a slight blue-gray tint with concentrations of 20... What was that, Ridge?
Parts per million.
Parts per million of tin and 170 parts per million of other electrolytes. The water remains at a constant temperature of 19 degrees Celsius, but can be heated or cooled when moved to another container. Addendum 109. Upon the item's delivery to Site-19, it was given the object class of Safe as tests were conducted on the item. Uncertainty surrounding test results prompted Gen Redacted to upgrade the object class to Euclid. Addendum 109-2. Recently, a request was filed and granted by Dr. Redacted for permission to water an okra plant growing in his office with SCP-109. Staff should be notified that Dr. Redacted uses SCP-109 for this purpose for a small time every Friday. Addendum 109-3. It has come to my attention that new D-Class personnel are often dared to empty the bottle. Guards are reminded that they are to be discouraged such an activity, and inform them that SCP-109 is bottomless. Chanting "chug" repeatedly is considered unprofessional. Dr. Klein. God damn it. I fucking love the SCP Foundation.
Absolutely not.
Additional information. Due to the range of tests conducted on SCP-109, this section has been provided to present test results in chronological order. Dates have been withheld for confidentiality. Test 1. Subjects imbibed water from SCP-109. Reported that it was very refreshing and, despite the metal content, very tasty. Urine samples from subjects were normal. Follow-up to Test 1. Had subjects dehydrated themselves for 1 full day before imbibing water from SCP-109. Test remains unfinished as subjects were unable to provide urine samples. Oh. Weird.
He's fine.
Subject bathed in water from SCP-109. Subject reported increased energy and a much improved complexion following the bath. Test 4. Streptococcus bacteria cultured in water from SCP-109 thrived and multiplied quickly. Water from SCP-109 administered to subjects suffering from streptococcal infection killed nearly all bacteria and produced a full recovery within 24 hours. Test 5. Blood substitute created using water from SCP-109 given in transfusion to pedestrian hit by a drunk driver. Subject showed no malign symptoms from the transfusion and made a full recovery. Subject physical therapy concluded 6 weeks early. Test 6. Water from SCP-109 administered to various plant organisms, all of which remained very healthy and showed no malign symptoms. One proposition for a test which has been discussed for some time has been involving the combination of SCP-109 and SCP-402 due to the risk of losing one or both items, creating a hazardous situation. This has never occurred. Imagine
Which
this
one's
with the
402?
shell that creates rain.
There's about to be some biblical shit happening here.
Fucking flood, dude. Is this like... I want to know what this one is called. Is this just like the Fountain of Youth or some shit? Nope, it's Infinite Canteen. Cool.
Hell yeah, brother.
Alright, I'd say we get to dragon snails.
Nonsense.
If possible.
Nonsense. We're stopping at this one, I think.
That's fair, honestly. Oh, we have been reading for a while, and I think it's getting to me. We got some really good ones today. I had a great time with these.
Yep.
There was only like that one that I wasn't a fan of because it was just...
You're just bad at reading repetitive numbers.
Heck, there were a lot more than the standard article, and we can both agree on that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. All right.
Being said, the article itself was fine.
Yeah, it was good. Other than that, it was interesting.
I say, barely remembering the actual article that was.
It was Jamaican Joe's.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I actually really like that one conceptually.
I'd say it was all right, but it definitely didn't
I
compare to
just
some of
love
them.
the idea of the robot left in charge of it just making little guys to keep himself company and being an absolute fucking chiseler.
Yeah, I just wish we got to hear more about the. I mean, I guess he couldn't talk, so it's not like he could do an interview, but it didn't really seem like the staff really tried.
I mean, not really, no.
Yeah. I think my favorite that we hit today was probably the one with like the dimension in the guy's stomach. That one was really good. I really
That
liked
was
all of it.
genuinely very well written. Tragic
Yeah.
too.
Alright, that'll be it for stream today. Goodbye!
Uber.
Buh. I missed the button.